We'll put the light on in a minute. We've got our raw carnelian. And our aragonite. So we've just been doing some deep breathing. It goes quickly. It was a few minutes of deep breathing before, and then it was 9:10. So there's strong energies today. Pisces new moon, Pisces sun, and Pisces moon. So we've got a candle burning because it's lots of water energy. It's also Neptune and Jupiter conjunct each other, with conjunct to the sun and moon. And this is in house 7 for us here, where we are. It depends where you are on the globe, what's going on. And Neptune is the modern day ruler of Pisces, and Jupiter is the traditional. So there's a lot of harmonious conjunction, balancing, integrating energies from traditional past energetics to modern day energetics, all in this mutable water sign energies. So we were wearing purple tights with blue leggings over the top earlier, and a navy blue vest top with a dark green top, whereas now we've got our green leggings on with black leggings over the top with purpley ankle warmers, and then we've got yellow and orange because yellow is the opposite colour. We've got a purple underneath. So yellow is the opposite colour of purple and orange is the opposite of blue. So we're counterbalancing all those energetics of mutable water sign with the opposite colours, so that one doesn't go off in the dreamland illusions, fantasy realms, etc. too much, with keeping ourselves grounded. Hence the Aragonite and the raw carnelian also, and the fire to burn away any emotions. I think it's this book here. Tomo. Yeah, we need to be a bit more careful with the twisting, don't we? We realised when we lived in our van uni, we wrote down lists of all the courses we wanted to do. And turns out all the courses that we want to do online, we were having first-hand experience with the navigation of the sub and super conscious realms that we've been in, and we're slowly surfacing from them now. Our little ones are going to be doing lots of reading. They've laid out all the cards today that they want to do for this session, first of all. So we're going to do a little bit of visual learning. So we've got like our body parts, and we've got the teeth. So we're going to do a little bit of knowledge and visuals to bring us in to the body through the visual sensory system and the teeth meridian sensory system. And we invite you, because we do these for us as well, so when our altars watch these back, to be in a position where you can caress and hold your feet and keep yourselves grounded. And then we'll read through the cards for us that connect the ocean. The ocean symbolic of consciousness, water symbolic of the subconscious, of these water consciousness, subconscious energies, as we bring our attention, our awareness, where attention and awareness goes, energy goes. And as we bring our attention and our awareness to these areas, not only are we bringing more awareness into our conscious mind, but we're lifting the subconscious to the surface, bringing more awareness to the subconscious, therefore integrating the subconscious and the conscious, but also the superconscious, the faster energies, the subconscious being the past data, information, memory stored in the connective tissue of the body, and the superconscious being the future, the ethical, the imagination yet to be manifested into physical form, because it still has to navigate itself through all the different energetic vortices, or the different energetic chakras known from the Indian philosophy as chakra systems. So we're just going to read, we got the crystals here from one of the ladies online, A to Z Emotional Health. She's called Moon Magic Now. Carnelian has to be is one of her most favorite raw crystals. It's one of those crystals that does exactly what it says on the tin. The energy of carnelian is said to restore vitality and bring motivation, stimulating creativity. It promotes positive life choices, a powerful crystal of vibrant energy. It is said to bring courage and create a mindset that motivates for success. If you need durability to see you through to the finish line, yeah, we need durability and endurance at the moment. We're not breaking our boundaries. We're not pushing ourselves past our comfort zones, but we are expanding our boundaries and our comfort zones to its limits, because we understand the importance of these astrological energies from the 12th of February to the 12th of March, especially today. The conjunction of Mars and Venus, the masculine and feminine in the physical realm, the physical form, as we can relate that to and connect that to the left and right vagus nerve, therefore marrying and integrating and harmonizing the rest and digest vagus nerve, the left, with the right, the fight, flight, freeze, of which we've been living our own adrenaline most of our life. We never slept well as a kid, and then we used marijuana to sleep. So we're really looking forward to this integration, to this marrying, to the rest of this healing journey, so that the second half of our life we can actually sleep and have proper, good, healthy sleep, and embrace rest and embrace being without feeling boredom, without always having that busy, go, need that the adrenaline and trauma brings to a body. So if we're needing to see us through to the finish line, or we are someone, and we've the energies we're in at the moment, we do put in, it's like we're training for a marathon, with which we've never done, but we have cycled on a Great to Land's End, and we have done intense jungle treks. So we've been in high impact situations that have needed training, and then this is the energies we're in at the moment, but it's just basic care, basic house needs of washing and cleaning and cooking. But this is the reprogramming of the subconscious. Yes, it's exceptionally challenging, isn't it, my lovelies? So if you need the energy to see you through to the finish line, or you are someone who struggles with a debilitating inner critic that inhibits your perseverance, then this dynamic crystal could become a great friend and ally to you. Yeah, we're in the younger waters. I can feel us switching, because books start getting heavier as our muscle systems change. So we obviously were going to be aware that this would happen. So Aragonite is known as stone for strength and support. And the reasons, because these are for us, but also doing them more familiar, we're revisiting the patterns that we were visiting when we did our season's worth of moon transit card readings. And this one, again, it's shorter, it's in a month, but it's in the Pisces energies, which for us, the Pisces rules the feet, the toes, and the pineal gland, but Pisces is our bridge of our head, our heart, and our feet, because Mercury is the planet of the mind, expression, communication, which people tend to relate to the brain mind. And in our Western astrology chart, Mercury is in Pisces in house 7, of which Pisces is in house 7 at the moment with all of this going on. See, Tupana, I poor. Yeah, right, that's right, isn't it? Titomona. So after the psych ward, like months after the psych ward, we were watching one of Ababa Bakuch, we can't say his long name, channel, who does astrology, and we had our Mercury. So our Mercury return, Mercury house return. So we had Mercury not just in Pisces, which will happen, I don't know how many times a year, but it was in house 7 particularly, and that was around the psych ward incident. So we're dancing with those energies that can really take us off, because we can go off easy, but because before the psych ward we had no self-love, no self-esteem. We did our best with food, but we were dissociating heaps, and we weren't co-conscious. We were being like locked out. our autonomic nervous system was giving up and dying. So the psych ward really brought us into that being chucked in the deep end, because we need to be chucked in the deep end to really kind of understand and be made aware, where a few of us start functioning together, and we're really brought into the present moment energies. And so since then, we've been getting more and more on it with our food, really on it with our food in the last 4 to 5 months, where no cheese, no dairy, even no nightshade family vegetables, no onion, no garlic, so we can handle the physical pain, and the physical pain doesn't then bring us into the suicidal ideation when it gets too much in these high energetic times with the inflammation in the body. So we've been on our liquids today. We'll talk about that more in a minute when the stuff that comes around related to that. We've had our orange juice and grapefruit juice. We've not had the energy to cook or anything, but we had rice cooked over from yesterday. And there's the misconception that one needs to get their proteins from meat and cheese. But if one understands, pulses and beans have a hell of a lot of proteins in them. And we feel there's an outdated belief system with the meat that actually comes from the fact that meat has all 9 essential amino acids. And a lot of people, when they go vegetarian or vegan, don't fully understand the health nutrition is needed for the body and the building blocks of the cellular systems and the body systems. But rice and peas give you all 9 essential amino acids and the protein and everything needed. So we just had rice from yesterday, frozen peas, and then we had we've still got some juice left over from our fermentation vegetables. So that we had the red one, the cabbage and the beetroot. So the juice that's left in there, we just put a couple of juices in that. So that's got the saltiness, it's got the color red, so we've got the red and the green, and we're getting all the nutrients in. And then we've been on the liquids all day, and we had a couple of pieces of our homemade bread. We've got 2 different homemade breads that have all your kind of gluten-free flours in, and flour and water acts like glue. So it's the same in the body. We've learned, we feel, is that what we understand to be the case from our kinesthetic first-hand experience, gaining the words and the structure of the words to describe our experiences after, rather than applying experience to knowledge and words, we're finding the words and the knowledge to go with our experiences. And then we have this intuitive knowing, which we're still getting to learn, but it's getting stronger and stronger, especially with these Pisces energies. And it's gone, so we're stopping there. So yeah, Aragonite is known as a stone of strength and support. It is said to align with the earth goddess, keeping us anchored and grounded, particularly during times of transition. No. Particularly during times of transition and sudden change, said to nurture and foster the truth within any situation. It is a crystal that really connects us to the here and now. Personally, she finds it a powerful crystal, brings her a sense of safety, generating feelings of reliability and consistency, even if the world around her is feeling unsettled. So, thank you for that, Aragonite. And yeah, as I said in the van, it was all colour healing and crystal healing and all this stuff that our children, our little ones, are taking us through as we experience and perceive the world as a really young, as multiple different ages, from a really young child up from a baby upwards, which took a long time for the adult. Excuse our speaker turning off. It took a long time for the adult conscious mind to get used to, because it's a very interesting experience. Shungite helps the EMFs, the electromagnetic fields of the computer. So we've got our icosahedron and our dodecahedron made up of triangles and pentagons here as well, because the energies can really play with the computer system. And we've got 2 of our pyramids there as well on the computer. And this is what we've got here, a shungite, so it can help clear the 3rd eye, because Pisces is an intuitive spiritual sign of the dream world. So are we gonna, so Pisces rules the feet, the toes, and the pineal gland. The pineal gland is the one for the third eye, it refracts the light. I think those are the right words. Always do your own research. We're not great with our words. Things can get confused. We get words upside down, mixed back to front, etc. And the sun is the external, it's the masculine, it's the doing, it's the active, it's the external body. And the moon is the internal body, the receptive, the passive. So that also could be like the left and right vagus nerve. And so if we've got the Pisces sun and moon, the external body of Pisces and the internal body of Pisces, then we have this integration, this connection between the internal and external body of the feet. And of course, feet are the grounding, anchoring points for the whole body into Mother Earth. And that then goes, and that's how we're getting all the energetic centers of the internal body through the feet and the reflexology points. The toes relate to your nose and your eyes and your ears, major senses of perception. So our toes can tell us heaps. And we will read a bit later on from the foot reading book, not much, of what our toes can tell us. If we have hammered toes, then we're holding on to life. If we have nice, long, straight toes, and this is also the same with the fingers, then we've got good communication abilities. Maybe only one of our toes is hammered. If one of our toes is hammered, it depends which one it's related to, and you can see where the congestion or the lack of ability of communication in that area is. So for instance, if it was this finger here next to the thumb, it would be your feelings. So communication around feelings would be rigid, solid, hammered, holding on, not so good. But that we'll go into that a bit later as well. I'm not sure we've got tuning forks, but if we do them, they're happening at the end. So now we've just had a bit of an intro. We've got the rattles. So we're just going to have a bit of a rattle. Shift the energies. We've also got high rattle with the bangles. We don't often put them on. Oh, have a shake, a subtle shake, a vigorous shake, the oldest and newest form of medicine. This symbol here, and I think it's the Maori tribe, is the hand yoga mudra of presence. So we can bring ourselves into presence, we can shake, clear the congestion in our energetic fields, clear our auras, whatever terminology one wants to use, our electromagnetic fields. Do stuff with your tongue, your mouth yoga, tongue yoga, your teeth. And then we're going to take this low rattle, we're bringing the low sound of the rattle down. We've got another low one here, fire and water. And then we've got a couple of rattles here. This is going to be a long one, I think, today. I've got a feeling. Havana Club. El Rove de Cuba. 3 ones from a bar. They're a higher sound, a smaller bead. We've got a tongue on our tooth for our root canal now that causes a lot of congestion. And it's a root canal we got done in New Zealand, in Queenstown, actually, where we did a lot of bar work. We'd always have at least 2 or 3 jobs. I think we had 3 jobs there at one time. And then we've got a jaw operation, and there's a scar tissue from there. Faulty healing scar tissue on a scar, a head injury. Lots of shifting. And then we've got 2 homemade ones here with Kinder eggs. One's got yellow split peas in. And the other one's got red lentils. So it's about, well, a quarter of the size, if not more. Quite a size difference. The difference. We had a good rattle and a good shake. Clear and shift the energies. So let's get baby bones. It's all of the feet, the toes. I recount the toes of the feet, so why it needs to distinguish between that, we're not sure. And the pineal gland, which is behind the third eye point, the back of the head. So you have your third eye chakra, and behind your third eye chakra, you have the Soma Chakra, S-O-M-A, and it's the chakra that balances the masculine and the feminine energies. And the Sanskrit sound for that is ni, ni, ni. And that's really important for us because of knees and the knee problems as well, which we've kind of mentioned before. And one of the thumbnails, we did a few thumbnails today. We did quite a few actually today. We did 9. And one of them had a knee on it with I think there is the 3 poems of anonymous without the poet's name, because normally we do the poet's picture. But the title of the poem was something to do with silver buckles on the knee or something. And so it's very abstract, the pictures, but different altars have the different senses, do the different things, and they all then interconnect. So it's like the do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, da, whatever it is, and then it's sa, re, ga, sa, ra, ga, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, ni, da, and that's the Sanskrit one. We've done that on there. I'm surprised we mentioned that actually. We've also watched Sam Webster, and the one that video he put out today or yesterday was on the abdomen. Now the abdomen, And the intestines, the small intestines, it says, I think it's just intestines actually, are ruled by Virgo, and Virgo is 180 degrees the opposite to Pisces. So if we're dancing with the opposite colours to blues and purples, which are the upper chakras, the third eye and the crown, the intuition, the psychic abilities, then we've got the opposites of colours and what have you. And he was doing all the abdomen and taking it apart, and this comes apart so that you can take all the structure and take the inside out. And the little ones used to do that heaps over the years to understand the body and to have everything in the external reality of us to our internal reality is a reflection. So when we're doing stuff like this, the body is understanding as well, because our little ones are our body. Our stunted generational consciousness are our organs that didn't grow up properly, hence the small waist. So there's those visuals there, because we're particularly taking our attention and our awareness to the teeth, that we're going to show you some, talk you through a bit of teeth meridian charts, because the channels in the body that carry the energy flow through, in the Hindu, Indian philosophy wording, it's the nadis, and they say there's about 72,000 nadis, and this is the importance of using our breath for these tubular bodies to pump up and get oxygen to every cell in the body. Hence one of the importance to change the patterning in our body. So let's say to do yoga, but it can be any patterning, but yoga does put the body into different forms, into different shapes. And when we put the body into different shapes, which is naturally instinctive from children, they don't practice yoga, children just do it naturally, but we lose that instinctual ability and connection to our body as we grow up, as we feel pain and trauma from each of the chakra centers. And so therefore those nervous system sensory get cut off, because that's what we've been programmed and conditioned to do by society, tradition, etc., influential role figures, etc. So we're bringing our attention through our mental body mind to these areas, then to the teeth, so that the energy can go there, bring it all down to our feet, because when we watch this back again, then we can hold our feet. You're doing really well so far. I wasn't sure how today was going to go with these energetics. The conjunction of Mars and Venus is in house 5 for us, where we are, which is the house of Leo, which is our ascendant, our north node, which we call our destination. And house 7 for us is what got Libra in, which is where the conjunction. And Pluto is conjunct pretty much with Mars and Venus. Pluto is the modern day ruler of Scorpio, but the traditional ruler of Scorpio is Mars. So you're bringing in the energies of Scorpio with Mars and Pluto, but you're also bringing in the energies of the Emperor with Mars, because Mars rules the Emperor, and Venus rules Libra and Taurus. And then if you've got Sagittarius, is ruled by Jupiter, which is the traditional ruler of Pisces, but you've got Neptune as the modern day ruler of Pisces. So we've got all of the elemental consciousnesses of earth, fire, air, and water in with this grounding. So yeah, the duodem is the first part that you get to of the small intestines, and it has stuff to do with the chemical reactions in the body, and the chemical reactions in the body create hormones, and it's actually the pancreas that comes before the duodem. I think we pronounce it wrong. That is to do with the endocrine system and making hormones. Now all of this interlinks with the pineal gland, because the pineal gland is one of the glands, along with the adrenals, along with the thymus, along with the thyroid, that regulates the system of organs involved with each of those gland functions. Now there's one controlling gland that is the control house of all of those glands, and that's the pituitary gland. So one of the things that we found really useful is with food, because diet and food can be complicated, is that food that we eat, if it looks like the part of the body, then it's good for that part of the body. So chickpeas look like the pituitary gland, and we love chickpeas. And so that's really good for regulating all the other glands. Pine nuts are really good for the pineal gland. And because pine is the starting 4 letters of pineal. So we're getting into etymology now, and etymology is the roots of where words stem from, going back to the Latin root or the Greek root or the woman, Roman. The rugged man ran round the rugged rock. The rugged man ran round the rugged rock. We used to have to say speech therapist when we were younger. So yes, it's the etymology of words, the roots of words, where they came from, and the importance of kind of understanding these root system, which is also grounding us in through the feet, the roots of the trees, the roots that go from our nervous system down into the ground, into the roots of the mycobellant root system of Mother Gaia, right down to the lava core, to really get in those anchors of the reds, the oranges and the yellows to hold us down, so that when we tap into these higher realms of the dreams, the imaginations, the Neptunian energies, then we won't fly away with the fairies. So, okay, just before we do the teeth, and we've been talking about the energies of the planet, Pisces is I believe, we believe. So we're very strong in our belief systems. Okay, hey, you want to do that, don't you? Because we're just on the body. Okay, the little ones just want to show you. We've also got our sticker book. So it's a human body sticker book, and you have all the stickers at the end. And as you go through, I'm surprised you forgot about that, didn't you? We've got the See in Your Body book as well. You want to get up and get that. So we've done these ones, for instance. You stick the stickers on the book and see where they are. So if we go to a page that we haven't done that section yet, and all the bits that you can't really see. DNA, that's the 5 to 8 miracle tuning fork hertz. We got that for later, haven't we? We have, haven't we? Well done. So that's the sticker book. So these are our younger biology kind of books to connect, to find the common denominators and stuff between our little ones and the older ones. Legs almost gave way then. It's glad to thank you for staying upright. So then we have seeing your body, and you can go in and you've got your little flaps which you can lift up and see all the different stuff that goes on. So they're very interactive for our little ones, and the little ones love it. And then we've got the videos that we watch and we also listen to. So all the different sensory systems from different ages are coming into play, being utilised, bringing us all back into, not bringing us back into, because we've never been in optimal alignment, but bringing us into optimal alignment for our first time, so that we then can be able to go into the proper dream state world rather than our waking life reality being a dream state, brain wavelength world. So the Pisces, I believe, we believe in self-management, self-accountability, self-responsibility that brings self-healing through unconditional self-love and self-gratitude and self-compassion. Hence why we started this at 9:09 p.m, because 99 is the number of compassion. 99 is also 9 plus 9, which equals 18, which is the number of the moon card in the tarot, and always goes then back to 9. 9 is the end of the Tesla code, the 3, the 6, the 9, the code for the mathematical code for the unseen energetic world. But 9 is also the number for physical completion in the physical realm, the seen tangible world, before you get to 10, which is karmic completion, made of the ending and the beginning, the masculine and the feminine, the lines and the curves, because that connects us into the sun energies, the external body, the spirit, because the spirit comes from the body, because the spirit is ever nothing, because when you can't see anything, it feels like there's nothing there, but the nothing is the everything, and it's that subatomic, that quantum realm energies coming in through the breath and the oxygen that goes to every cell in the body. And when we can bring this oxygen to every cell in the body from the different forms and patterns and shapes that we make with our body, and breathe when we're in those different forms and shapes, especially inversions, when you're getting your blood in the opposite direction and your head and everything in the opposite direction, so everything can rest, then we're raising our consciousness, we're growing ourselves up, we're healing the generational lineage trauma, the family lineage trauma, the cultural lineage trauma, the land trauma, all these things that have an impact from the quantum entanglement of energetic fields, electromagnetic fields, which fully then, when we're connected to that spirit, brings us into the moon of our soul. And when it's the Pisces moon and the Pisces soul, the energetics are just fully flowing and linking. And then we need to align and sync them and grab them with the conscious awareness while they're there, so that we can have a smoother, faster journey when it's taken so long, into self-sacrifice, into sacrifice of the energetic calling that we chose to come onto earth, to incarnate into physical form, because energy doesn't perceive, it doesn't experience through the 5 physical senses of the body. It's energy. It doesn't have perception and perspective and belief and all the words and terminologies that we use. It's number, it's pattern, it's frequency. There is no attachment to words, therefore there's no emotion to words, therefore there's no good or bad. There's just a frequency that can get expressed in so many different narratives from the perceived good or bad. But what's good or bad, what's good in one place might be bad in another. It depends on culture, experience, perspective on the earth, hence escaping, transcending the duality reality, and grounding ourselves into the body, out of the dream world, understanding the symbolism of the dream world, because the dream world symbolism is the symbolism and the language of the superconscious, the subconscious, the multiverse, which is all present tense, symbols, patterns, colors, numbers, not words and emotions and attachments. It's deeper. We have to go deep and down without getting lost in the rabbit holes. And then that brings us into expansion while we're anchored, rather than expansion and floating away like a helium balloon, tying ourselves down. That brings us into abundance of self-understanding, abundance of self-mastery, abundance of self-love and self-gratitude and self-compassion and self-forgiveness. And then we can radiate that out there through the biggest, most potent electromagnetic field of the heart, because then when we embody the knowledge, it turns into true wisdom, especially when we embody the knowledge through kinesthetic learning, physical, actual experience, using our own words for something rather than regurgitating someone else's words and someone else's experience. And we read our poems, we read the starts of our introduction and our intro and our extra, sure it's not called that, on our poetry videos anyway, that says all this and over, because that repetition is the reprogramming. So this is how we're reprogramming our software systems, our hardware systems of these most amazing temples, vessels, quantum bioorganic computers, or bodies that we live in, so that we can all become amazing rainbow spiral energetic alchemists. And it's sacrifice into escape of the 12th house, endings, closure, completion, escape, not as an escape because we're trapped, but escape into the 12th house, escape into the subconscious, escape into the subconscious with conscious awareness, to understand that we are beings of free will. And once we understand and transform a self-knowledge, a self-understanding, and we can transcend the conditioning, the domestication, the fear-mongering, the fear programming of societies, of etc. And yeah, free will, free beings, and that creates the transformation, because now we go into Pluto, because Pluto is conjunct in the 5th house for us where we are. It'd be different for you, to Venus and Mars, the modern day ruler of Scorpio. Venus, the traditional ruler of Scorpio, is Mars, force, because we need that force, we need that action, we need all of it together, and to have that balance, not too much, not too little. along with Venus, the feminine energies, which has that love, the unconditional love, the Empress, the connection to Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. Venus, ruler of Taurus, the I have, we have understanding, we have enough, we have our materialistic needs met, we believe that we have our materialistic needs met, because it's about belief systems. And if we can aim to have no belief systems, then there's no restriction. And this is epigenetics. Epi is above genes, not to be a victim of our genetic makeup. The genetic makeup is a blueprint of the body. It's a potential. You have the blueprint of a building, but very often there's scenarios and the situations happen as the building's being built that doesn't fit the blueprints. At the end of the day, the blueprint of the building isn't exactly the same as the building once it's constructed. It's just a map. The map isn't the territory. The territory is the earth. It's the tectonic plates, and it's always moving. It's always shifting. Mother Earth is alive. We're always moving. We're always shifting like tectonic plates. The most amazing, this psychiatrist that let us out of the psych ward, unlike the first one that we saw that was always trying to get us to take more medication and be blah, blah, blah. We reckon she was taking medication, but we couldn't talk to him to start with because there's just too many people in the room, and we didn't know ourselves back then. We didn't know we were super hypersensitive. We didn't know about our empath skills, really. We didn't understand words really or what they meant, but to have 6, 7, 8 people in the room was too much for us when we were in that situation. But so we came out and left and arranged to meet with him afterwards. And when we met with him afterwards, it was one-on-one, and we could talk and we could communicate with him. And we don't remember the memory. We understand through energetic memories and frequencies and those energetic feelings, but not through the narratives and the words. So we don't remember the words and the narratives that we said to him, but we remember what he said to us because he understood us. And we very rarely get understood. So when we get that feeling of connection and being understood, it's momentous. And whatever we said to him, he said, it sounds like you're speaking about tectonic plate movements on Earth, but within your body. So, well, you've got the microcosm of the universe, the macrocosm of the universe, the microcosm of your body, and the connecting cosm in the middle, which is Earth. So, yeah, that's what he was saying, which was amazing. So we have that understanding and the stepping stone of belief systems, that we don't have the external or the traditional belief systems, that we create our own and understand that we can be whatever we want to be if we choose, and we're willing to put in that effort until it gets to effortless effort. Because when we breathe and align ourselves in the body and the posture and align the muscles against the bone rather than pulling the tendons and the muscles away from the bone like you are in bodybuilding, then everything's working in harmony together and you're aligned with gravity. And when one is aligned and has that postural alignment, then there is no diseases, there is no illnesses, because oxygen's getting everywhere. Teeth aren't crooked, teeth are aligned. And then the Taurus is the ruler of the second house of owning, because we own ourselves. We are honest with ourselves. And when we have all of that integrity and that authenticity and that honesty fully with ourselves, that gets radiated out there. That's then what we attract back, with the push and pull, the repelling and the attracting of a magnet, of the electromagnetic energy, the magnetic soul. Number 2 in the 2 frequency of the 2022, and we were in psych ward, it was 2 years ago, 2020, and Snowflake's the one that's got us through this, and she was born, or the name was given to us by the Native American Indians when we were 2. Venus also the ruler of Libra. We balance, because when we balance all the energetic vortices of all the different colors, the different frequencies of all the chakras, not just the traditional 7, but also with the Earth star and the Soul star and the Soma, and the higher heart, and your left and right masculine and galactic feminine, the 13 chakra system, there's all of the guide ropes to keep that tent taut, especially when it's old-fashioned fabric material, and it needs to be a perfect tension not to let the water get in. And Libra, the eye balance, because you've got that oscillation, not extreme, it's just in that subtle vibration, because the only constant is change, and that's that subtle vibration, not extreme vibration, between each chakra and its individual right, that then creates the wholeness of all of it. With the violet, the red and the blue, the root chakra and the throat chakra makes the violet, because the head, the hands, the feet are hot reflex points, the whole body reflected in the hands, the whole body reflected in the head, the whole body reflected in the feet, inside as above, so below, as below, so above, as inside, as without, as outside, as within, all around, upside down, top and bottom, etc. Breathe. And the seventh house is partners, relationships. Seven's the number of self-growth. And this is the house that's happening at the moment. So these energetics that we're dancing with are just going to connect us so much, especially then when we watch it back and bring the energies in again, because it's not just the relationship with a lover. It's not just the relationship with the parents or the siblings or family members or work colleagues or friendships or acquaintances. It's the relationships with nature, with plants, with animals. It's the relation, anything with objects, books in your house. Everything in the universe, everything in the multiverse is a relationship between one thing and another, a ratio. 1:4, it's a quarter, it's the inverse of 4. And we get into then expansion is when you get the numbers added together. Contraction, which is the expansion, the Jupiter energies, which we're navigating. The contraction energies is when you subtract one number from the other. I mean, that's the Saturn energies, Father Time, 3D Earth, rather than the 5D expansive Jupiter, and the luck and the fortune. And then you've got infinite expansion, which is multiplication, and infinite contraction, which is division. And Mars is the ruler of Aries, I am, because it brings us into that philosophical state of I am. What is the I am? Who is the I am? Who is the we are? We are the organs, we are the body, we are everything that makes up the body. We are the cellular system communities that make up the digestive system, the reproductive system, the respiratory system, the digestive system, the endocrine system, the lymphatic system, which I know is what we wanted to bring that energy into, of the teeth and clearing out the toxins. We are the bacteria, it going even deeper to the cells. It's the bacterial systems, the healthy, happy, bouncy bacterial systems that are the building blocks of the cellular community systems. So that's the importance of having a healthy, happy, diverse bacterial gut biome, the nose biome for the respiratory system, the skin biome. If you've ever done kombucha and you've got the scobies is like a thick skin where the bacteria from the liquid meets the oxygen, and that's our skin. It's like one big SCOBY. So the bacteria, the healthy, happy, optimum, diverse bacteria is for us being the super number one importance for the health. And Aries is the ruler of the first house, and what were we just talking about? The body, the self, the first house. What is the self? The self is our individual expressions of consciousness, and our individual expression of consciousness is the collective individual expressions of cellular consciousness. Each cell has a consciousness, and then the cells are the collective consciousness of the bacteria, etc. Because when we get that collaboration, that symbiotic relationship and harmony and harmonic resonance and symphony between the gentle oscillation rather than extremes, because that creates the resonance, then it brings us into our transformation, the Scorpio energies. Scorpio connecting the Mars and the Pluto, where you've got the conjunction of the Pluto, Mars and Venus, and you've got the conjunction of Jupiter, Neptune, Sun and Moon, because you've got the new moon energies. Oh no, it doesn't, sorry, because Pluto and Mars are both together with Mars Venus conjunctions. It doesn't connect those two houses. Oopsie, apologies for that. And Scorpio is the ruler of the 8th house. Scorpio transformation, Pluto's creation, destruction, and 8th house is endings and beginnings. And for us, our 8th house personally, Venus is in. So we were talking about Pisces earlier being the bridge between our head and our heart, because in traditional Western astrology, our Mercury's in house 7 in Pisces, which is our head. But in Vedic astrology, which we're just shifting into, our and our heart's Venus in the Western, but our heart turns into Pisces in the Vedic astrology. We're an Aquarius sun and moon in Western astrology, but in Vedic astrology, we're an Aquarius sun and a Capricorn moon. So rather than having that fastness of the vibration internally, we're starting to ground our moon energies in. So we're shifting our belief systems from our conventional, known, familiar Western astrology chart into an energetics where we ground in all this new energy into the body to be anchored rather than chaotic and expansive with the air. Sagittarius, because of the Jupiter, is IC, and when we ground that in, it brings us into a clarity of vision, clarity of seeing, with not just the experiencing the external reality with our 5 physical senses, but seeing from the internal reality, because we understand and we're aware and we're really getting to know our internal reality. And so we're seeing our internal perception of the 5 physical senses, but in the inner world, which is actually about 8, you've got your 8 psychic senses, because you've got claircognizance, clairaudience, clairvoyance. Oh, we've got the smelling one. We can never remember all of them. And Sagittarius rules the 9th house, which is faith, because sometimes we have to have faith in the unknown to give us that baby stepping stone until we can then gain the awareness and the understanding and the embodiment of that knowledge that turns to wisdom, rather that can start off as theory first, whereas us, we're back to front. So we've had the experiences, then gained the theory, and then it's about marrying them together, which isn't that simple, because we've got to find the common denominators and the common links between all the different altars, because all the different altars experience from different ages and different sensory perceptions, and some of them have completely opposing belief systems. And so it's the more we can get that oscillation smallly, the opposing belief systems come in, and then we can find those common links and threads between them all. Hence what we were saying about the body, and the plants and nature and our cat, Zendaya, cat animals, because then we can marry and integrate all of the 4 directions, all of the 4 energies, because the 4 directions, fire goes up, water comes down, air spirals round, and earth is solid and strong. But what comes first of all before all of that is space, because you need the space to fit the others in. Space, spirit, because water gives us our sensing abilities to feel and sense the world as it is, not what our traumaed attachments are to it, because we're transcending our traumas, because that brings us into understanding communication through body communication, not through words and language, but through sound, through vibration, through frequency, through color, through pattern, through the body, through all the other different languages. So if you met someone that didn't speak your language, there's so many ways to communicate that doesn't involve words and language, especially in the modern day, that has lost its etymology and its connection and its roots to words. The topo paina no mono. The top pie. Because then we get into our heartfelt, our deepest heart, compassionate felt desires of the fire element, the upward channels that brings us into stability of the earth element, with mastery over self, mastery over the understanding of all the different consciousness, to bring our wildest, craziest dreams into physical form reality, because we've been aware of our traumas and we've transcended our traumas, and we've become aware of our deepest, darkest, worst nightmares and fears, and are able to see how everything that we perceive externally of us is just a projection of our internal reality and different aspects of ourself, our body, that we're unaware about, depending on what food, what toxins, what processed stuff we put in our body. Hence why we eat as pure as we can. Wow, we are 55 minutes into, we're on it, aren't we? So we've gone through all of that. Thank you. Slightly shift again in our body patterning. Put you to the side. We are going to, so what are we reading next? We've gone into that, so we're going into the book. Okay. So Pisces is a mutable sign and adapts to change and tolerates situations representing, and it represents the last month of each seasons, where things are changing in preparation for the coming season. Water sign, who are emotional, receptive, intuitive, and very sensitive. And then you've got nature and fertility, of which is an addition to a sign's element and quality, and further classified as either fruitful, semi-fruitful, or barren. And this classification is the most important for readers who use the gardening information in the moon sign book, which we do. We garden by the moon. We do everything pretty much by the moon, and this is what's been going on for the last 5-6 years, intensely so, because of our limited energy reserves, with our physical and mental limitations. When we dance in harmony with the energies, we get maximum output, which is normally maximum output, minimum effort. But if there's disconnection in this nervous system, disconnection in the body, and only one word comes in, maximum output, minimum effort. If minimum comes in, then that's got a sense of lack. If effort comes in on its own, then it's going to be an effort. So therefore, there's only 2 words out of the 4 that have positives. So if we can get all positive connotation wording, maximum output, most ease. If ease comes in on its own, that's okay. Phew, it's ease. If most comes in its own, that's an abundant word. Maximum output. So it's all positive output, input. There's no real negative or positive connotation to that wording. So pro-peace, anti-war. It's all in, again, how we use our words and our language, because sticks and stones may break our bones and words will never hurt us. That's outdated. The words are the programming of our software, our hardware, and the words and the imagination come first. The atoms in the physical dense form vibrate solid, ice, vibrate slower. The person that runs in a race that's the slowest comes last. And we live in a world that's back to front, that's put the tangible, seen, touch it world as coming first, when really it comes last. And so we need to swap around the way all the systems, the mental health systems and everything works. And it's not that nothing's bad. It's not about the duality reality. Hospitals are great for immediate physical breaks and all the other stuff that happens, but they're not understanding central nervous system disorders. We're feeding medication into the gut biome, killing the gut biome, therefore killing our awareness and our ability to perceive and understand in this intuitive, we don't have the words for it. It's ineffable, too grand, too beyond words. Hence why the most important thing we put out there is the information through our heart electromagnetic field to yours, so that just by coming into here, you will then gain the experiences that you need through your internal and external realities that best speaks to you, because words are limiting. Words can be misunderstood and misinterpreted. Different people have different understanding, different attachment to words. Yeah, no idea where we're at. Pisces moon is feminine, fruitful, cool and moist. It's an excellent time to retreat, meditate, sleep, pray, or make that dreamed of escape into a fantasy vacation. And this is our live reality healing documentary meditations, because we do active passive meditations and passive active meditations. And this is us doing all our things throughout the day, because it's not about spirituality or practicality. It's about integrating spirituality into practicality. It's about chopping wood and carrying water. If you live in a caravan in a field, or carrying coal through fields. But if you're in a house, it's about doing the washing up. It's about understanding the everyday, daily tasks that are needed. It's about hoovering and cleaning the house, the weekly, monthly tasks needed of the deep clean, cleaning the bathroom, doing the washing, eating the good food, cleaning the body. And it's about bringing a present awareness into all of them, because those are the ability that when we're doing all those things, we can do yoga in all of them. So we don't do a personal yoga practice. We do our ShintoSEYE practice in bed, and we do our ShintoSEYE practice in everything that we do, even to like when we're squeezing the lemon and honeys and our orange juice, which sometimes we can't do because of this. But when we do it, we're changing the patterning, we're understanding the twisting. With our body, sometimes it can take us an hour just to squeeze a lemon, because we'll get caught in a situation where we have to stand there and breathe and do whatever. Because when we're a freezer, we used to go into the paralysis states, like what people get with sleep paralysis, but for us it's kind of like back to front. And that used to be what we were majorly in, and we'd be stuck in these traumatic states, in these rigid positions, but very awake, but we would have come at it from a waking state rather than from a sleeping state into sleep paralysis. So it's not coming at it from a sleeping state into sleeping paralysis and going back to sleep. It's coming at it from a waking state into sleeping paralysis, and then attempting to understand, to bring ourselves back into the able to move. Because when one is functioning on adrenaline and these trauma PTSD states, there's too much adrenaline, and sleeping and the rest and digest vagus nerve aren't working. So it's about understanding how to stimulate the vagus nerve and reactivate and regenerate and reconnect these nervous system pathways back into each other, because it is possible. However, things are not always what they seem to be with the moon in Pisces. Personal boundaries tend to be fuzzy, and we may not be seeing things clearly. People say that the clearer the body are, the clearer the channels are, the clearer we perceive, the clearer we sense, the more clarity we have. The more grounded we are, the more still, stable mountain energies that we have, the more the mud settles to the bottom of the water. So rather than muddy pond water, you've got a layer of silt at the bottom and transparent water to be able to see through. And that water lily, the lotus, of many thousand petal lotus, can then grow up through the muddy waters and flourish and blossom into its most magnificence, which can prevent them from seeing reality. There is a live and let live philosophy attached to this sign, which in the idealistic world may work well enough, but chaos is frequently the result. And that's why this sign is also associated with alcohol and drug abuse, drug trafficking and counterfeiting. On the lighter side, many musicians and artists are ruled by Pisces. It's only when they move too far away from reality that the dark side of substance abuse, suicide or crime takes away life. Ruler, Jupiter and Neptune, impulse, empathetic, rules the feet. Because in the dream state, in the right brain, imaginative, creative hemispheres, there's no past or future, it's just present tense. So time doesn't exist in these realms, in these dimensions, in these realities. So because we're still talking about chakras, we're going to give some more visual imagery, just to look at the colours and the feet. We're not really going to talk you through them, but it'll go. You can see this is like the ascending and descending colons or intestines and the quadrants of the think. This is the pituitary gland up here on the big toe, the heart and the other glands. So the lines, when you've got separating them along, you've got this line here, this line here, here and here. So you've got the shoulder girdle line, which is the one that separates the toe from the feet. That's your shoulder line. And then you've got your diaphragm line. So this is the diaphragm. It's your diaphragm that separates the liver. So when you've got your liver here, you've got your diaphragm, which separates this bit here that separates the whole lungs up here with the whole bottom system down here. And then you've got your abdomen, your viscera, that interacts with your pelvic viscera. But really, yeah, we're going into it a bit too much there. Rein it back, pull it back. And then you've got your waistline and your pelvic floor line. So this is your waistline and this is your pelvic floor line. And that's the same on both feet. So your sinuses, so your eyes, your sinuses are the four toes here at the top arrows, and these little bits here are your eyes. Sorry, the orange is your eyes, and that's your ears. And the green on the big toe is your brain. And like, we've got lots of hypermobility in our feet, and our feet do funny things, just like the hump in our neck, which is really going down, actually. We had this back there on the neck in one of our other readings. So hopefully, oh, I thought it was going to show you the vertical lines, because the vertical lines go down from the feet. So on each toe, you've got the horizontal grid lines that tell you what part of the body they are. So this thing is below the shoulder, but above the diaphragm, below the diaphragm, but above the waist, below the waist, but above the pelvis, and that's in the pelvis. And then you can go down here, when you draw the lines going down vertically, the baby toe line is sense of security. This one is your relating, any relationships. This middle toe is your working. This toe here is your feeling, and this one here is your thinking, but they don't have it on here. And they've just got it from the top of your foot. Oh yeah, this is really, so the lymphatic system is in toes here, all these green bits here, which is the lymphatic system helps flush the toxins through the body. Hence why we've been drinking lots of beneficial fluids to help flush the toxins through the body. Because as we're talking as we're talking about this, it sends, it brings the energy and awareness there. And water is the water sign, sensing, Pisces, the lymphatic system, lots of water to flush it through. Also the circulatory system. We started off with the tuning forks for blood and the brain in the first two of Sagittarius and Capricorn, and other ones, so that we've got the vibrations there in the first place. And the toxins, depending which body they're released in, if it's the physical body, diarrhea, spots, rashes, etc., chemical body, gas, wind, solar plexus body, the empowerment, a lack of drive, a lack of motivation, not losing one's power, handing one's power over to other people, the mental, the heart body, deep feelings of lack of connection, deep feelings of loneliness rather than the empowerment of aloneness to get to know oneself, the mental body with all the negative thought patterns coming in on repetition. Like one reason why we're such a good positive thinker, we can turn any negative into a positive, is because we experience life so negatively, and there's the ones in us that are really negative and just pick up on the negative to start with straight away. We never allowed ourselves to embrace, we were a victim in many ways, and we never allowed ourselves to be a victim and to feel those victim feelings, and they got suppressed and they got repressed, and then they exploded outwards. So when to everyone else it looked like shit was hitting the fan, chaos was hitting the fan, for us finally that chaos wasn't inside anymore, it wasn't hurting us anymore, it wasn't eating away at the body, and it was going out, and we'd never felt more connected and understanding. But of course we were in and out of all these younger personalities, we couldn't communicate it. And this is why things aren't always as they seem. You can't judge a book by its cover. So yeah, it just explains more of the visual imagery. So if we are holding our feet, and then we've got that visual imagery to dance with, we're incorporating all the sensory systems, we're aligning them, we're integrating them. So Pisces, if Pisces is intuition, we were going to Google this, but we didn't, and we're not going to Google it because we're going to go with intuition. And our gut feeling at the moment, if Pisces is intuition and it's clarity and it's seen, it's going to be the third eye. But if the third eye and the crown chakra come last, and it's your lower chakras that come first, which we can relate into this, cut off your brain, the big toe, you have 6 joints. You have your heel joint, and then you've got this joint in the foot, and then this one, so this is the third, that's the fourth, and that's the fifth, and then you've got your brain. So if you leave the big one, this is separated into 6. So if you take away the 6th, you've got all the lower chakras, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, with those 5 feet sections. And once all of these get mastered, all physical manifestation, all physical ailments and physical manifestations and physical diseases only manifest from the first 3 chakras, red, orange, and yellow, the physical chakras, the fire, the water, the earth. That is from Caroline Myss's perspective, or MYSS. So, and the blue is your cervical, your 7th cervical spine. The green is your thoracic, where the heart area is, and there's 12 thoracic there. Your lumbar is the yellow, the solar plexus, the empowerment. Your sacrum is your orange, your sacral, and then your coccyx is the tip at the end, which is your root chakra, which catalyzes that Kundalini energy to rise up. It's coiled up in the sacrum, and then when certain experiences happen in life, or when midlife crisis at 40, your Kundalini can rise up to go through the body. And we'll show you the pictures of how that happens later on, because we're going to show you the energetic from the Colouring Nen book. It'll show you the patterns of the Kundalini rising, which has a wider out. So if you've got the cross of the chakras, the Igna, Ingla, and Idna or something, then the other ones are wider. And then you've got the Dantian, the lower Dantian, the upper Dantian. So we'll show you those pictures later on. And we're also going to show you the Tibetan Sikh chakra picture, because in the Sikh chakra picture, 2 of them are in the feet, seen as we're really on it with feet on this one. So thank you, we've done that one. We're not going to do that. We'll do the lymphatic system. It looks like we are doing this wording first before we go into the animals, because when we go into animals, we're going to go into dream state. Okay. So we're bringing the energies down. So we're going to start off with the 3rd eye chakra, the 6th chakra, Ajna, the 3rd eye, understanding, insight, reflection, and occult knowledge are key words for this chakra. Pessimism, a confused mind, and shutting one's eyes to the lessons of life show that the chakra is out of balance. Clear-sightedness, intuition, and premonition demonstrate its openness. The center of the 6th chakra lies somewhat above the point where the 2 eyebrows meet. Its area extends from the inner corner of the eye to the center of the forehead. So that's this one here on the symbol that we're looking at. This one here. Ajna, the 6th chakra, is the A-U-M, Om. Om. Or we do a lot of stuff backwards, so or ah. And Jnana Yoga, recognizing and accepting destiny, confidence in one's own intuition. And because it's intuitive, it's this water sign, we're going to go, the heart is the air elemental, the fire is the solar plexus, earth is the Muladhara, which we are going to read last, even though it's a water sign, because the feet are about grounding, it's about earth, it's about stability. But the 2nd chakra is water, and that's the vam sound. V-a-m, vam, vam, or mav, because there's always the inside out and back to front, so we do it all around. And you could just then go avama, mava, if we're going to do wordplay on games. And it's the Sustana, and we did read this one the other day, so we're not going to read. We are going to read this one because it's about relationships and it's about repetition and reprogramming. So the 2nd chakra, Sustana, the sex chakra, sex being sexual energy, the most potent energy, creativity energies, fertility energies, the birth of ideas. Intimacy, relationships, and creativity are the key words for this chakra. Pleasure, flowing and wave-like movements. Trade and exchange are also typical. Jealousy, uninhibited desire, fear of one's sexuality, anxiety about intimacy, lack of creative energy are manifestations of imbalance. On the other hand, the ability to share, harmony in relationships, easy physical contact, fluid movements, and attractiveness show that the chakra is open. The 2nd chakra is located between the pubic bone and the navel, the upper part of the sacrum, up to the 2nd lumbar. Ma. Ma. Ram, ram, ram. A bit shifting and clearing there. We're very present, whatever comes, comes. And we don't feel quite as embarrassed as we normally do, so that's it's getting better, eh? We're getting better, eh? I suppose, yeah, we talk about harmony and fluid movements, aren't we? And attractiveness, show that the chakra is open. The second chakra is located between the pubic bone and the navel. We had our protruding discs in L4, L5, L5, S1. But this is talking about the second lumbar vertebra. But it says about the upper part of the sacrum up to the second lumbar. So yeah, that is that area. That makes sense. And it's associated with part of the spinal column. And it's the second chakra, fam, water, and it's Tantra yoga. So we're reading a Tantra book at the moment, but not your conventional modern day understanding of Tantra, the roots of Tantra. And Hatha yoga, which is the root of all modern day yoga, pretty much, from our understanding. Always do your own research. Tantra yoga is the root of Hatha yoga. And it's ease in relationship. And if the multiverse is relationships between one thing and another thing, it all makes sense, doesn't it? Pleasure in physical contact. It says connect. Spelling mistakes. So we're doing, okay, so we're doing this before we go on to that, because that links us to that, doesn't it? Okay. So we've been talking about the lymphatic system. So here's just a bit of visuals to go with the lymphatic system. You've got your head and neck. You've got the whole lymphatic system in the body, and then you've got your arm, axilla, and thorax. So that's your head and neck lymphatic system. That's the other one that we just said, which we can't remember. And then in your bottom, you've got your nodes and your vessels and your thoracic duct. Your nodes and your vessels and your thoracic duct. And it goes for your whole body, your armpits, your neck, your groins, your knees. So this is when we did all our Swedish massage and our massage course. We didn't complete it because of our ailments, but we have all started all this study at college. And you've got your deep abdominal and inguinal nodes, your large intestine, your heart and your lungs, and your stomach and pancreas. And because we're going to talk about the teeth in a minute, it's these areas in us that we're healing. So when we talk about the teeth that are missing, or the root canal, or the wisdom teeth out, the wisdom teeth that haven't come out, it connects into all these parts of the organs, because these are all the meridians and the channels. So like we showed you with the line system of the vertical and the horizontal of the feet at the start, it's a similar kind of concept and principle with the teeth and the going through the body, but it's not just linear. There's this beautiful complex spirals and spirals of this labyrinth, in the labyrinth of toroidal flows in the body, of all these different electromagnetic fields that go through the body. Thank you. These visual aids are going to be amazing for us to watch back. It's amazing for us when we do this, especially when we go to sleep afterwards. And so the lymphatic system does clearing out of the toxins in the body, but it's all to do with the fluids and the water going around the body, just like the circulatory system and the blood is to do with the fluids. We are made up of 80-90% water in the brain, around 70% water in the body, salty water. So having the healthy salt, not the man-made salt. Everything that the man-made salt, they tell you to cut out salt, man-made salt's bad for, but actually when you've got traditional salt from the earth, Himalayan pink salt, sea salt, that has all the minerals and nutrients in that the body needs, and it's good for the body. It's the opposite of the man-made stuff, which is sodium. So you've got your venous system, your arterial system, your circulatory system at the top two here and the middle. Then you've got your blood circuits and your schema, your head and your neck. So I know this is the ones that we work on a lot. Because your body, you don't need to know everything from your conscious mind. Your body is doing so much stuff automatically. So the idea of bringing our subconscious to our conscious doesn't have to be a mental construct or a mental conceptualization. We can bring our subconscious muscles, the muscles that are the most automatic. So the most automatic muscle is the iliopsoas, psoas major and the psoas minor, which goes from the top of the femur, the top of the leg bone here, through the hip, out of the hip, up to lower 5 lumbar. That's the psoas major. The psoas minor curves around the hip here in an oval shape. And the psoas muscle, I'm sure it will come out. Oh, we've got liquid here. I'm sure we've got our calendula flower drink, got nasturtiums, starfire flower and calendula with a bit of lemon, balm, rosemary and coriander, all from our garden last year. Yeah, we'll put that there. This orange, the second chakra. Yeah, I'm sure we've got the book of the psoas muscle that brings you through Pilates and then into yoga, and then the one on the glutes. So I'm sure they'll come out probably with the Libra moon, because Libra is the glute, the buttocks. So we did that one. So we just show the other side. Skull arteries, circle of Willis, and the brain and neck are the top 3. And then you've got the hepatic portal veins and the blood vessels are the next 2. And then you've got coronary arteries and cardiac veins, and the arteries of the brain are the bottom 2. So great visuals there for our visual sensory systems, which then brings us on to more of the digestive system, and we're going to end on the teeth. So we're going to start at the bottom, the rectum and the ileocecal sphincter and appendix. Going up to the small intestine and the large intestine. Then going up to the stomach and the bile and pancreas duct. And this is the duodenum that we keep talking about, which is in that little bit in there. So she's showing that one before. So then you go on to the other side of the digestive system of the whole body in the middle. And then you've got the mouth and the teeth on the top, and then you've got the tongue with the esophagus. And then you've got the permanent teeth and the mouth and salivary glands, the saliva glands. So you've got 8, isn't it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 right, 8 left. So 16 altogether. 8, 8. But yeah, our wisdom teeth on the top haven't come out. So it's 7, 7. On our left, we've got the 2 missing here. So we've got the very back one, number 7, but we're missing number 6 and 5 on the left. And then the bottom ones we've had out of our wisdom teeth. And then on the right here, we're missing the very back one, number 7. And this links into the tooth organ meridian chart. So on here, you've got the sense organs, the joints, the spinal segments, the vertebra, the organs, the endocrine organs, and then others all down the side here. And that's the top of the mouth. That's the bottom of the mouth. And these are the teeth going on to the center. So that goes right, that goes left, top, right. And so we've marked on it the one that's got the root canal, the ones that haven't come out on the wisdom on the top, the ones that haven't come out, grown, the ones that have been pulled out on the bottom, and how they relate to It's so, for instance, number 17 on the left has been pulled out, and that's your energy metabolism, your peripheral nervous system, your jejunum ileum, your heart. It's the C7, T1, T5, T6. The C is the cervical 7, T stands for thoracic, and then you've got the sacrum 1, 2, and 3. Shoulder and elbow, hand, ulna, foot, plantar, toes, and sacroiliac joint. So there's always so many connections to all the stuff that we've got wrong to the teeth, because the teeth are a reflection of our internal body and the health of our internal body. Because, like, how do we know what our internal body is like? How do we know how healthy our internal body is? And it's reflected in our teeth. So the upper teeth and the wisdom teeth that haven't come out, that's the CNS psyche, the pituitary, ant lobe, the duodenum, the heart, C7, T1, T5, T6, S1, S2, C8, blah, 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 blah. Very similar to the ones that we just read out on the other one, because of the wisdom on either side. So that's both, you know, crowded and messed up for you. And the fact that our teeth are crowded, the fact that the wisdom teeth haven't come out, is a sense that the body inside is crowded. So how we say that our stunted generational consciousness is our organs, and our organs haven't grown up properly, it makes sense they haven't grown up properly, because there's not enough space, there's not enough room for them to grow up properly, because everything's got crowded and shut down because of the traumas that happen, because the emotional, mental, physical, sexual traumas that happen have an impact on the physical body. And then we've got the gap in the tooth. This gap in the tooth here, it's kind of like the center. It's not the center. The center's the one to the right, but this goes to show how off alignment things are, but how on the external body one can't see it, because we've hidden this from everyone our whole life, not consciously, subconsciously with the DID, because we've even hidden it to ourselves. But it was time when the Kundalini rose, it couldn't rise properly because of our ADS, our hypermobility, and it caused explosions, and everything just exploded. Also because we'd hidden everything and we'd created all these sacs to hold the toxins in, and all that then exploded, and hence the chaos. Everything was just coming out because we needed to be, we can't quite express this in this moment. It's not meant to be. So yeah, that's hence the meridian charts. So our body is always speaking to us, it's always telling us things. You know, there's other bits of information there. Did you know that mouth breathing causes tooth decay? How saliva pH affects our oral health? How mercury causes depression and anxiety? Buck teeth, the causes and treatment for a high-fat, high-protein diet is best for your teeth. For us, a high-fat, high-protein diet means things like avocado, olive oil, and coconut oil, not cheeses, not any seed oils, because seed oils like sunflower amplifies inflammation. But coconut oil helps, it's an antioxidant, it's an antibacterial, it helps regenerate the skin, and olive oil is really good as well. Omega, your fish oil, we're having our fermented fish oil. The fermented fish oil and the goat's kefir milk are the only animal products we're having at the moment. And the fish oil has only just come back out now, interesting, with all the Pisces energies. And the goat's kefir is full fat goat's milk, and goat's milk is better for the body than cow's milk. It's a healthier, easier dairy to break down. There was a beautiful story this morning we heard on the radio first thing, and we don't often put the radio on. And it started off, the first bit's not quite so beautiful, about zoos and how zoos are kind of dying down and not doing so well because of the emotional stress and impact it has on kids, and the sensitivity and the awareness that kids have for animal rights these days. But it's the side that goes unmissed, and this is where there's always 2, 4, 6, 8, however many perspectives to a story, and it's not that one's lying and one's telling the truth, because that's the duality reality. They've all got their own truth, and depending how it's perceived from, you know, there's always 2 sides. This experience, this is the transcending the duality reality. We haven't got the words again, but in Cheshire Zoo, I think it's near London, but it's, excuse us, up north from here. Our left jaw is really loosening up on the scar tissue there for my jaw operation. And they do all the environmental conservation stuff, and they had some fish that got extinct in Mexico, but they had some fish and they constantly doing all the stuff to keep the temperatures and the climate and the environment for the conditions for Mexico. And so they gave 5 male and 5 female fish. Look, this is an amazing story to come on the radio. This is how all the energies that's how we humans and what we do is reactive to the earth energies and the cosmos energies. And today's all about Pisces, it's all about fish, and there's a fish story on the radio, and this is how we can see the effect that the energetics has on everyone, business, individuals, families, countries, continents, the globe. And so they gave 5 female, 5, and especially with Mars and Venus as well, 5 female and 5, and it really made us cry heaps because the story also relates to us and what we're doing for ourselves, marrying our left and right vagus nerve, marrying the male and the female energies, because we've always been balanced between our left and right hemispheres, our male and our feminine. We got 2 A's at school at GCSE, maths and art. So they gave 5 female, 5 male fish to Mexico for these, because they were extinct out there, they didn't exist anymore, and this was in 1998. And Mexico did all they could to create the conditions to teach these fish how to survive and experience and live back in the wildlife, live in the reality, the wildlife reality. And now, because this is 1998, 24 years later, not only are these fish not extinct anymore, not only are they not just surviving, they are thriving. And that's just a beautiful story, and it touches us greatly because we have survived our whole life and we just didn't have any energy left. And we're turning the surviving into thriving, constantly facing our fears, constantly learning to use our voice. And you can see the whole progress through everything we've done with our channels. And this is how there are 2 sides to every story, because that wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for the zoo. So it's pushing on. I don't know if we're going to get to read all of these, but our younger one pulled them out, so we'll see. Once upon a time in dentistry, the idea that oral health and whole body health were connected was something that a lot of folks mostly scoffed at, if they thought about it at all. Now, it seems not a week goes by without some new research illuminating or confirming the mouth-body relationship. And now there's the whole thing of stem cells, where you can put stem cells into the teeth and make the body grow its own teeth back. So with that a bit of information, we believe our younger ones, when our younger ones say that we're going to grow our teeth back, because everything that can happen in the external reality, we can create in our internal reality. We just have to have enough excess energy. And that's why the more energy we get from the multiverse, rather from the drama triangle exchange in life with other people, we can replenish it and fill our cups from the multiversal energies and Mother Gaia's energies, and then create and give out and keep that flow going. And then eventually our body will all be in balance and optimum resonance, and there'll be enough energy then to create our own stem cells in our teeth and then grow the teeth back. Watch this space in 5-10 years. I know we will be. Scientists are consistently finding oral bacteria at locations far from the mouth. The list of conditions linked with periodontal disease only grows longer: heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, kidney disease, and this is hence the meridians and each organ connecting to each tooth. And in the body, it's all interconnected. There's chemical reactions and taste, and that's what we can taste and smell. And we do a lot of sucking, because sucking creates space, and it's all about creating space. There's only one form of massage, and that's the suction cups that we know of that really kind of create space. Oh, Tor, we do have some kiddie ones. We got a cheap one of that to play with, didn't we? Oh, we've got a few things for the kids to play with that I've just realised that you've bought, because we're really starting to get back into this self-care, and this is what this is catalysing. Oh, Tito Mama! See, when you watch this back, my lovelies, it's really going to get us going, isn't it? because we've learned all this and we've done it before, and we can do it again, okay? It's going to be a whole new, more aligned, deeper connection and understanding this time round, all right? Not just from the outside attempting to go in, which didn't work, it broke us. We're going to do it from the inside out this time, and it's going to be like, oh! Thank you for sharing. So there seems to be new awareness of how oral infection can spread to the brain, in which case a toothache can turn out to be deadly. There's a growing, when we got this hole here stretched in Byron Bay in Australia, we were smoking a lot of weed as well, and we weren't looking in a mirror. A lymph gland did swell up, and a friend came up to visit, an Australian friend that we met in New Zealand, came up to visit, and she was like, I think you need to go to the doctor. So we ended up going to the doctor, and they said if you'd come, you actually would have needed an ambulance or be dead if you had left it until tomorrow, because it was a golf ball size lymph gland thingy, but they got us straight on antibiotics. We've had lots of little scenarios like that. If we've not been fighting off depression and suicide from the mental side of it, we've been creating scenarios in life that create death. But we're not meant to die, because we're here for this kind of blooming purpose, aren't we? Which we're growing ourselves into softly and gently and slowly. There's a growing appreciation for the fact that things like exercise, sleep, stress, and such have key roles to play in oral as well as systemic health. I know for the younger ones of us that don't clean our teeth, to clean their teeth, we've got multiple different flavour toothpastes and different size brushes. And this is all depending with what brush the body, because we're disconnected, we can't tell what's going on inside because of our deaf, blind, dumb internal processing model. So we witness ourselves to what goes on. So one day we'll pick up one toothbrush, another day we'll pick up another toothbrush, and we'll pick up different toothpastes, and that makes us aware of which ones we're in. And these are all strategies and tools that we learn, because it'd be like, well, no, we can't clean our teeth with that because the mint was too much. It would create too much of a stimulation, especially when we're really hypersensitive and really young and really in our deep low functioning autism, and then this would all spasm and it caused too much pain. We do our cold water mouth therapy as well. So we watch, we learn, hence the importance of being compassionate and forgiving and not judging, because if we do that, they lock us out. But if we don't do that, and we have gentle and healthy, unconditionally loving, nurturing parents, understanding there's a reason for everything, then they keep us, allowing us to witness and sit on that fence and witness while they're kind of there doing their thing. And that when we're really in them, to clean the teeth, it's because, should we give our nervous system a massage? How do we give our nervous system a massage? And it's cold water therapy in the teeth and by brushing with a toothbrush. And so they don't brush their teeth to clean the teeth, they brush the teeth to give the nervous system a massage. So I can imagine they're the parts of the nervous system, those ones, because they care about themselves, maybe, I don't know. We're still learning and putting all this together. Yet this new understanding of the mouth-body connection is only partial. It focuses exclusively on physical organs, organisms, and systems. Yet this isn't all there is to a living body. We are also energy, from the zap and zing of neurons firing in our brain to the electric pulses of our heart, to the subtle energy or chi that courses along our body's meridian system. First mapped by ancient practitioners of what we today call traditional Chinese medicine, the meridian system is to energy what your circulatory system is to blood. Subtle energy constantly flows through it, at least when you're healthy. And just as circulation is one way in which your organs and tissue are all connected to each other, the meridian system connects them energetically. So if you're healthy, it flows through all of them. If you're not healthy, there's congestion. What's congestion? Constipation. So like we get constipated in our bowels, we can be constipated in our whole body. And there's something we've got on our fridge that one of us got, and it says that all diseases is just constipation of the body. Zendaya, do you want outside, darling? We just let our cat, beautiful Zendaya, out. We're just making our legs wake up then, okay? You want to go out the door or the window? You want to go out the window? Okay. Thank you for being so patient. Okay. You're amazing. You're amazing. There you go. Have fun. See you later. Oh, big shifting. You really want to go through all this, don't you? Okay. The system is made up of 12 major meridians. These run through our body, branching it out to reach all aspects of our... Oh, its printer's gone a bit funny. Lists off some stuff that I can't quite see. And then shoulder, elbow. I think it's parts of the body. Ulnar, hand, plantar foot, toes, sacroiliac joint, and musculature of the trunk and extremities. Upper and lower. When there's a blockage or disturbance on any given meridian due to infection, say, or injury, we may expect to see problems in other organs on and aspects of that meridian. So, for example, if tooth number 7 has a root canal, how do they do the numbers on this? If you were to do the numbers 1 to 8, 1 to 8 right, 1 to 8 left for us, yours is mirrored. Our root canal's on number 7. I love it when the alignment like that happens. And we're in Pisces house 7. Oh, they think this tooth's going to come out. It wouldn't surprise me if this root canal tooth comes out, because it's the one that's been pushed out because the body's rejecting it. But then that means that it creates space for these ones to line up. And then when those ones lined up, hopefully this would happen because the jaw would sort it out. So basically, what people go to get braces and orthodontics, we're doing it all ourselves through our ShintoSEYE practice. It's quite incredible. The eye that's now, it's just, it's ineffable. If number 7 has a root canal, there may be related kidney or pineal, we haven't read this all before, or pineal gland problems. Since those, because Pisces rules the pineal gland, since those organs are on the same meridian. Or there may be issues with the coccyx, tailbone. Yeah, there's definitely with us from a horse accident when we were 15, and we fell off the horse and our left foot got stuck in the stirrup. And so that's how our sacrum twisted on all 3 planes. And we've had other instances where our coccyx has been hit and stuff. Sacrum or feet. And I've got kind of turned in feet and arches and sprained ankles. Yeah, we've got, honestly, the list of ailments has just been, but we've just kept it all in, because when we were a kid, we weren't allowed to, we were made to believe we made things up and that we were a bit of a drama queen and we could, emotional. Everything's always been put down to our emotional stuff. No one's understood the physical stuff that's gone on with us because we've not been able to express it. No one knew about the EDS or the POTS or the fibromyalgia or the autism. The dyslexia didn't happen till we were 19, and that was only thanks to our auntie. But it means we didn't fall into any of the victims. We didn't fall into the victims of any of that. But then when we did get all the labels, it was just too much all at once for us. And even then we didn't get believed or seen or heard. It all got then put down to mental or the weed usage. Which it isn't. Just because weed does one thing to some people, it's like ADHD medicine, Ritalin. If you give Ritalin to someone without ADHD, it hypes them up. You give Ritalin to someone with ADHD who's already hyped up, it calms them down. Weed's the same. No one knew about any of this because the weed, not only did the weed help us integrate into society and do our everyday tasks, not only did it help us sleep, not only did it help with our physical pain, but it suppressed the younger alters. So therefore people would ask us what we're on when we weren't smoking weed and we were having a break from it to prove to ourselves we weren't addicted to it. But then when all this happened, there was no purpose anymore. We'd lost all capability of dreams. We lost our body. We've always managed our mental health with our food, our diet, and exercise and being outdoors. But when we lost our body fully, of which we were losing over and over because of all our physical pain, but we'd just switched from one alternate personality to another, and therefore the physical pain isn't felt, but it doesn't mean it's not still going on. It's always constantly still going on. It's just that each altar holds a certain sensory nervous system, etc. So when you're in that altar, it experiences that pain. If that pain gets too much, then the altars switch. But eventually the body gives up and dies. You know, if we're that disconnected from our body, and which we were, but yet on another level, we're really deeply connected to our heart and another part of it. It's really complicated. It's not a linear form. It's not a linear format. It's not like the subconscious, superconscious, and the conscious. There's a subconscious, a conscious, and a superconscious in every alternate personality. And some personalities are in the subconscious, some are in the superconscious, and some are in the conscious, and some overlap between it all. So you can explore more into that. Bear in mind that these two organ relationships aren't fortune tellers. That is, just because you have a problem with a certain tooth, an abscess, say, or a root canal, it doesn't mean you're fated to have problems with any or all of its associated structures. For every one of us is unique. We have our own health history, current health habits, attitude, constitution, psychology, and more, beliefs. All these work together to create a particular health outcome. Ultimately, like, you've got people that smoke and do all these and drink, but they don't believe it's bad for you, and they're just having fun, and they don't get any. They live a really long life. So it all depends on belief systems. It all depends on how absorbent we are to external information. Hence why we have to either be really careful about the external information that we watch or see or absorb because of the subliminal messaging and programming. Especially if we are really sensitive and overstimulated. Hence why we learn to program ourselves through this stuff that we're doing and what we're watching, because we know that we are. All of these work together to create particular health outcome, ultimately guided by the state of your extracellular matrix or biological terrain. This is why you've always got to look at the big picture, and why it's crucial to find a biological dentist you can work with to discover, map, and follow a sensible path to healing. I really like this, the way it uses the map and the terrain, because we always say about the mapping and the mapping the terrain and navigating the new terrain of awareness and the tectonic plates that we started off with earlier. So, no, we're going to read. No, we're not. Are we going to do this? Okay. So in the foot reading, toe shapes, you've got the general meaning of the big toe, the nuanced meaning of the right big toe, nuanced meaning of the left big toe, general meaning of the second toe, and it goes on like that throughout it. It says about how when the toes are narrow to wide, when they're wide to narrow, if the big toe tip is lifted off the ground and doesn't touch the ground, or if the big toe is not touching the floor, the drop shape, the squeeze shape. So we're talking about patterns and shapes and forms again. The tangent toe. So this is like we're talking about the reflection of the organs on the teeth. You also have that in the feet. It's just same but different. The leaning of the toes. So whether like you've got the toes twisted to either side or twisted to each other, like the baby toes can some do on the outside. And it can have the connection to the emotional response and what it means. But if you take the emotional response and the out of it, it literally goes down to the plane. So because we had a physical accident and our sacrum got twisted in all three planes, that's going to have a mirror image to our body internally and externally, etc. And the teeth, hence why teeth are twisted and a bit jarred. Tilted, crease at the top toe joint, claw or hammer toes. We were talking about them at the start. Ungrounded. So when the toe claws, the person is holding things in, which is very much us, either because the outside world has enforced restraint or because the person himself feels he doesn't want to express his thoughts or feelings for some reason. Maybe they can't express their thoughts or feelings. If all the toes are clawed, this is very sad. The person is holding on for dear life in every area. So on our left toe, on the working one, on the middle, we actually had the knuckle removed because it was permanently bent to straighten it out. We're just having a pressure release in the ears, which is all to do with the layers of the connective tissue and the fascia. Tinnitus, pressure release in the ears, all related. We're just waiting to see if another little release is going to happen. So yeah, so it's a really fascinating, then you've got tips of toes. It's really fascinating, this book, to understand other ways like palm reading, tarot, astrology. They're all different ways to self-understanding and self-mastery. Pointed toes, rounded toes, necks of toes, lollipop toes. And then we've got tattoos and toe rings, because we used to wear a lot of toe rings. And we've got a tattoo on our right foot and one around our left ankle. The right foot was the very first tattoo we got done off the wall in Bali, thinking it was a Chinese symbol for woman, but it's actually the Japanese symbol for powerful. So I was quite lucky. We didn't get anything off the wall after that. The one around our left ankle was designed, we got it done in Chiang Mai, North Thailand. It's the design from the guy. We said we wanted like a tribal one. Our back one's designed by us. Did we design our neck one? I don't know who designed our neck one. We've got unique tattooed on our shoulder. I think it's our left shoulder, but using the Japanese alphabet, or the English alphabet, spelt in the English alphabet UN, but it's using the Japanese alphabet. So the Japanese symbol for U, the Japanese symbol for N, so it's spelt in English, but it doesn't really make sense in Japanese. And then we've got another one on our lower stomach, which was just a friend's doodle, you know, when you just doodle and draw. But we have to be careful, because in some countries the doodle means the male masculine reproductive parts. So yeah, things can always get, oh yeah, I've got doodle on my thingy. It's like words, you know, it's always different. Tattoos and toe rings. Toe ring, a good fit or loose. Toe ring, too tight. Tattoos, when you see a tattoo on a foot, you will use the map of the foot to determine which zone it is in. You can use the 3-step process, but rather than seeing it as a blemish and therefore interpreting it as how it made the person feel, you would read the tattoo as what they want to demonstrate or show the world. Step 1, say the way you are thinking. I think this symbol here is the symbol that we put up on one of our thumbnails recently, actually. I think that's the one that showed today. No, it's not. I don't know, actually. Say the way you are thinking about, and insert the general meaning for that vertical zone. Step 2, say is impacting on your, and insert the general meaning for that horizontal zone. You may find it useful to change the word slightly to imply the idea of an area of their life being impacted. For example, for horizontal zone 4, you'd say is impacting on your private life. That sounds much better than is impacting on your relating. So yeah, it just goes on about so she's got a little story here. Tattoo. At an exhibition, I met a lady who had an unusual tattoo on the neck of her big toe. I knew the neck represented expression, and I knew the big toe represented thoughts, beliefs, and ideas. So I pointed to the tattoo and told her that it was a very unusual tattoo, and I'd be interested to know why she chose it, because where it is positioned indicates a wish to express strongly held beliefs and ideas. She explained that it was to be a tattoo of the Japanese script for the word angel, but that it was not finished yet. She had started a journey learning about angels and spirituality, but felt she was still at the beginning. So there we go. It's interesting. We're suddenly getting really cold, and we're realizing that our left shin here on the outside was pressing onto our stool that we're resting on. And the left-hand side is the left vagus nerve, the rest and digest, which is the cooling down. So we're just going to shift and put our right weight side more on the right one. So we've got the last 2 books now. No, I lie. So we're going to go from reading the feet into reading our immediate environment. Chapter 18, Cleansings and Blessings, Bathing the Soul of Your Home. May I be peaceful and at ease. May my home be filled with loving kindness. May it be safe. May it be a safe haven. May I be happy at home in the present moment. So we're going to change that. May we be peaceful and at ease. May our home be filled with loving kindness. May it be a safe haven. May we be happy at home in the present moment, of which we are. We love the home. It's taken us 5.5 years to get round to. We didn't realise when we moved in that we would have seizures 6 weeks later that would leave us regressed like a baby in and out of all these personalities. Cleaning and cleansing first. Cleaning our homes cleanses them of not only dirt and clutter, but also of stagnant, unhealthy energy. There are times, however, when a room looks clean, but doesn't feel clean. There's a stale, sticky, or spooky feeling that clings to the room even after a normal cleaning. Many people feel this in older homes where several generations of people have lived. Others notice an unclean feeling when they move into a newer home that was previously occupied. Some people are sensitive enough to feel the energetic leftovers in a room where there's been an argument or where someone was emotionally troubled or died. In these cases, it's important to energetically cleanse the room as well as physically clean it. And we do that lots with burning sage and Palo Santo and our other herbs, but also with sound, with the chimes, with the rattles, with the drum, shamanic sounds, with singing bowls. And generally, just like with us, we also do it by opening all the windows. I don't know, with some of the younger ones when we were witnessing ourselves, all the drawers, all the cupboards, everywhere would be open, and then the windows would get opened, go around with all the sage, put it in all the cupboards, all the drawers, and all the taps would be running as well with the water. Very fascinating what the subconscious will do, the body will do when you surrender to the body and you let it lead. So here, these candles have been grouped together to represent the 5 elements and to cleanse and purify the energy in the room. So because this is Japanese, because Feng Shui is Japanese, we've gone from Chinese, from the meridians, to Japan now. Then we'll go to India and then Tibet. Wood, fire, earth, metal and water. So it sounds very similar. It sounds the same as the Chinese. When moving into a home, there's the candles. When moving into a home that's been previously occupied, always deep clean the carpets and paint the walls immediately. In most cases, this removes the energy of the people who lived there before you and puts your personal signature on your new home. Then spray a cleansing mist along the baseboards and into all the corners of your home to refresh and rejuvenate the chi. Cleansing mists contain citrus oil and can be purchased where aromatherapy products are sold, or you can make your own by putting several drops of orange or lemon oil in an atomizer filled with water. Other oils can also be added. Or boil 2 cups of water, remove from the heat and add the peel of an orange or a lemon, let it cool, strain the peels and put the water into an atomizer. I wonder if an atomizer is the spray bottles. We like that one because our spray bottles that we've got get clogged up with the oils. But we might do that because then that's straight into it. And we've got it's a really good idea. We like that. We can also tap into the power of the 5 elements when doing a cleansing. For cleansing purposes, we can gather them together to create a power grouping in as a simple or elaborate an arrangement as we'd like. The figure 18A that we just showed you shows a tray of candles that combines all the elements with the intention to cleanse the room. A red candle, fire, and yellow. See, this is why black and white pictures are silly. We need the colour. A yellow flower petals, earth and wood, floating in a silver bowl of water, metal and water. Is one of countless examples of an elemental combination that can be used for cleansing purposes. Consider how we would combine the elements to create a cleansing arrangement. Use this list when choosing elemental components to cleanse a room. Wood, items made from wood. Sage, burnt like incense or placed in hot water to diffuse aromatic oils. Natural incense made from barks and flowers. Essential oils from flowers and fruits, citrus peel, fresh flowers, flower petals, plants, cloths made from plant fibres such as cotton, linen and rayon, items that are in blue and green tones and or are columnar in shape. So this is integrating shape, colour, patterns, and like your animal, plant, mineral type thing. It's just the language and the interconnectedness of energy and frequency. So a frequency is a frequency, but how that frequency or that energy is interpreted depends which sense of perception it's coming in at. So that frequency of a certain number will be seen as red, will be tasted like a strawberry, will be smelt of a red rose, will feel like red velvet. But you get what we mean. We're not normally the best being put on the spot, but we're getting better. Fire, candles, electric and oil lamps, figurines of people or animals, items made from animals such as leather, bone and feathers, cloths made from animal fibres such as wool and silk, items that are in red tones and or are triangular in shape. We didn't know that I was going to go on to that next, but obviously one of us did, maybe, I don't know. We're talking about earth and groundedness, aren't we? Earth, ceramic and earthenware figures, tiles and vessels, clay or soil, often taken from a special place. I think we've got some like sand from the Burning Man festival in Nevada desert. We've got shells from all places in East Asia. And then learn it's legal to do that. Items that are in yellow or earthstones and or are square in shape. Metal figures and vessels, salt and Epsom salts, natural crystals, rocks and stones, items that are white, very light pastels and or are round in shape. Interesting, because we would have put rocks and stones into the earth category, but I suppose you've got minerals, haven't you? So water, pure, clean water and water features. Items made from glass or crystal, such as vases, bowls and candle holders, mirrors, items that are black, heavy, have very dark tones, not heavy, and or are free-flowing in shape. Lots going on around now, isn't there? Experiment with arranging items in the room you're cleansing until you find a combination that really pleases you. If you have included candles in your grouping, make sure they can safely burn for at least an hour. When you are satisfied with your arrangement, light any candles and affirm your intention to purify and balance the room, knowing that your arrangement amplifies your wishes. Let it remain for at least 1 hour or longer when appropriate. Then remove and discard disposables such as water and petals. Thoroughly wash all vessels and cleanse items such as figurines and stones by placing them in the sun for a day. In extremely rare cases, when ghosts or poltergeists are suspected, you'll need the expertise of someone who specializes in exorcisms. Typically, you can rely on the 5 elements and your own focused intention to transform your rooms into places filled with light and good energy. And then it's got house blessings and a contemplative exercise. Connect with the deep wellspring of your spirit and claim the power to bestow blessings upon yourself and others. Meditate on exactly what you can do to bless your home. It may be a prayerful or playful, that's us though, lighting of candles in each room, a circle of friends gathered to bless your home with you, or a celebration that includes food, music and dance. Bless your home while being fully aware that your whole life is a blessing. That's beautiful there. And we've done a lot of that just naturally and instinctively as well. And then very quickly, but not too quick, oh God, we don't have the energy to hold this book, it's so heavy. So when you watch this back, you don't have to be in Pisces energies. If you watch this back, it will take you into these intense energetics. But if you want even more extreme energies, then to do it under a Pisces sun and a Pisces moon, or one or the other. You might just want the internal stuff. So you might do it under a Pisces moon and a different sun energetics, or you might want the Pisces sun energetics and do it under a different moon. This is how we mix in energies and alchemize energies to how we want. So we're not going to read the endocrine system. We have the endocrine system barked there, but we're going to read the pineal gland to keep it a bit shorter. So this is where the, oh no, so we were wrong. We thought the pineal gland was a bit back from the third eye, but it's actually much more back. It looks like it's on the left-hand side, close to the center point between the left and right hemisphere, but on the left-hand side at the bottom, near the cerebellum, the old brain. Pituitary gland. The pituitary gland generates a magnetic field due to magnetic crystals located near it. So I wonder if it reflects the light, if we've got that wrong as well. The pineal gland serves as an electromagnetic sensor to regulate all kinds of states, from mood to ESP. So that's good, because we're saying that these were EMF, wasn't we? To counterbalance the energies that's going on. Fascinating. Oh, we love this book. We really liked it last time. Please, can we not have thank you, because of the wording. Thank you for giving us a smooth, easy, flowing read of this book with a stable, structured, mountain-like body. It is the producer of melatonin, which regulates sleep. Oh, this is going to be a good sleep tonight for us. And researchers Iris Hamov and Peretz Lavie, excuse pronunciations, found that individuals who have a dysfunctional pineal gland have a difficult time sensing and relaying information through the electromagnetic fields. They then experience great difficulty falling asleep, as well as other health problems associated with a disturbed daily cycle. The pineal gland is associated with the 7th chakra, or plane of consciousness, representing an opening to divine energies. It is also the endocrine gland, associated with the rising of the Kundalini. So see how the rising of the Kundalini, and we were showing you the endocrine system earlier. So this is why we've ended up showing all this stuff from the physical, traditional scientific perspective to the energetic perspective, and how the integration of it all. A spiritualization process involved in chakra work. The pineal gland's role in enlightenment is tied to biochemical and electromagnetic interactions. And for us, actually, our head scar is just above here. So that will affect all the tissues and the tension of it. So there's numerous different things, what we were talking about, the Kundalini energy rising, the EDS in the body, and that is just all making so much sense. And we're all self-taught mostly. We did a bit of the A&P at school, but most of the stuff is self-taught, at college, I mean. And because we're a kinesthetic learner, so the stuff that we know best is the stuff that we've been self-taught, because it's relative to us and our body. The pineal gland role in enlightenment is tied to biochemical and electromagnetic interactions. Biochemically, the pineal gland orchestrates, and we were talking about the duodenum, which helps the biochemical with the transformation of the chemical reactions. The pineal gland orchestrates an important pecking order of steps involving synthesis from the amino acid. We were talking about the 9 essential amino acids at the start, weren't we, in the proteins, to be able to get all the proteins. The amino acid tryptophan interacting with various substances, and in some stages, the presence of light. Simplified, the sequence of production is tryptophan, serotonin, melatonin, pinealine, 5-methoxydimethyl tryptamine. I think we take something similar to some of these. 5-MeO-DMT and dimethyltryptamine, DMT, because DMT is when you're born and when you die, it's released naturally. And then when the ayahuasca journey as well, that's DMT with another plant, so that it's, because DMT is a quick kind of experience if you are going to take the drug, whereas with ayahuasca it's the DMT, the plant, with another plant to give you the longer journeying which then connects us with those parts of ourselves into a sense of connection to Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, into more of an awakened state. And yeah, we've got to be thankful for that. We wouldn't be where we are today without her. It would have all become too much, and we know where that would have ended. We're not going to go there again. Tryptophan is an essential amino acid found in most protein-based foods or dietary proteins. Melatonin, which is made at night, regulates circadian rhythms. So the thymus gland, if we do this, the thymus tap, and do it for about 30 seconds, a minute or longer, it helps regulate our circadian rhythms and helps us sleep before bed. There's lots of other things we do from an autistic perspective, I'd say, to help regulate our systems and connect us back into the linear world from this dream state, present state, reliving our past traumas from these different ages. There's lots of it's beyond belief, I tell you. So we're going to put it all together. It's going to be put together in a coherent way that's receptive to others. We also have 5-HTP, which makes serotonin, because we're just about to say serotonin. Circadian rhythm. Serotonin, made during the day, is a neurotransmitter that regulates sleep, body temperature, appetite, and emotions. Pinnaline is a neurochemical implicated in consciousness. 5-MeO-DMT, a psychedelic tryptamine, is found in certain toad venom, plants, seeds, and bark resin. And DMT is a naturally occurring tryptamine and neurotransmitter. A portion of the scientific and spiritual community has linked these chemicals with mystical and psychic experiences. For example, Serena M., Ronnie Dougal, PhD, of the SEYE Research Centre in Glastonbury, England, has presented a large body of neurochemical and anthropological evidence suggesting that the pineal gland's production of pinnaline may enhance a psychic conducive state of consciousness. Pinnaline is thought to act on serotonin to trigger dreaming. It also has hallucinogenic properties, and its chemical structure is similar to chemicals found in a psychotropic plant in the Amazon. That's the ayahuasca we're talking about. Studies suggest that the dream state is one in which we are most likely to have psychic experiences. Pinnaline is believed to be the neurochemical that triggers this state of consciousness. We find it hard to read because it's on white paper and it's the glare. So that's the scotopic sensitivity syndrome that goes with the dyslexia. Other times you find it hard to read because certain authors can't read it and we see the words differently and we have to put the books at different angles. Oh, this goes on. DMT has also been called the spirit molecule because of its possible role in reproducing psychedelic states through the pineal gland. Research by Dr. Rick Strassman, among others, is suggesting that under specific conditions, such as near-death experiences, the use of shamanic psychedelics and certain meditative states, the pineal gland might produce DMT, which then lifts us to different states of consciousness. These and other studies of the pineal gland suggest that it truly might be the spirit gland. It is considered to be in various mystical schools, and it's considered that fluoride and fluorine calcifies the pineal gland to suppress these psychic awareness and experiences so that we can be dumbed down as an individual. What were we going to say then? We were going to say something else then as well. That's it. So rather than taking antidepressants and things, although everything serves a purpose, but it serves a purpose for so long, we've got to use it as a stepping stone while we transition our knowledge into other things. But we don't even have to find anything to be grateful for. The simple act of searching for something to be grateful for, our life can be extremely dark and there can be nothing to be grateful for, but at least if we attempt to look for something to be grateful for, it produces serotonin in the brain. So when we were on medication prescribed from the doctor, we didn't think we started decreasing it slowly to come off it. We'd got it down to a quarter of what we were on. And that lady we were talking about, who hadn't even met us, was telling our doctor that we need to double our dose, which means we would have actually been multiplying our dose by 8 because we'd come down off it a quarter, because we're not the average person, because we do so much self-awareness and so much self-development in each of us, that with all that serotonin being released from our own natural practices and meditation, that would have just sent us over the edge. Someone commented and said they were inspired and admired how much effort we put into this on one of our social media groups, and that pondered on us, that kind of went over, and it's like we're not even on it that much anymore. So what they're noticing is like a fraction. You're talking about an eighth of what we actually put in. So if they're admiring the amount of effort we're putting in, and they're considering that a lot of effort, and that's only an eighth of what we're actually putting in, we're not your average person, because we are focusing on adrenaline, but the effort that we put in is effort into the subtle energetic body, because we couldn't do it physically anymore because of our physical limitations. But then we are building ourselves slowly up to doing the physical stuff. But we have to meditate and do our legs up for hours and do our ShintoSEYE subtle energetic practices to give us the energy and charge us up like a battery to then do the physical stuff. But then we'd have to navigate all the fear, because people would see us do some of this physical stuff and then think, well, we don't deserve the disability benefits. But that's not the case, because we can't do it repetitive. It's only on one-off things. We can't do it like every day. It's either like every few days or every few weeks, or used to be every few months. It depends whether it's a good day or a bad day for us. And if it is a good day, we still have to do a few hours of meditation, our ShintoSEYE practice with our legs up to reverse gravity before and afterwards, to be able to cope with the pain that we go through when we're doing it. But most people wouldn't do any of that. But because we grew up and we weren't allowed to be a victim, and we didn't have all this stuff noticed, so we've lived with it our whole life, then we navigate pain a lot better than the average person. Not a lot better, we navigate pain massively better than the average person. Yeah, it's very complicated, but we can't live like that anymore, because it was destroying us and it's killing us, and we're not anymore. And now the latter half of our life, the next 40 years of our life, is all about going to be slow, gentle, tortoise pace. And going back to that beautiful story of the fish, that was 1998, and it's now 24 years later that they're not extinct anymore in Mexico. We're 42, which is the reverse of 24. 1998 is when we overdosed as well. Really lucky to be here. So it's been a 24-year real conscious aware healing journey that we've been on this waking up and this self-awareness. So going into the three main nadis, you've got the Ida, the Pingala, and the Sushumna. So the Sushumna is the vertical central channel going down the middle, and then the Ida is the one that's going to be on your right, this hand side, and the Pingala is going to be the one that's on your left, this hand side. And they're the curves, the snakes in the middle, and the wider ones around the outside. And these wider ones around the outside that go up to the chakras, your Ida and your Pingala. Your Sushumna is the straight down the middle. That is the Kundalini rising energy that people talk about. And then you've got the chakras, which are the chakras in the middle, and then the energy, the connecting points between those ones in the middle. Yeah. But we've our brains lost it. So then you've got the Tibetan Sikh chakra system. And you've got two in the feet, left foot and right foot. You've got the secret chakra, which is like the root chakra, the one in your navel chakra, your throat chakra, your crown chakra, and your heart chakra. And then they've got, like, for instance, the throat. No, let's do the we're on the feet. So we'll do the right foot, because right is related to past from our belief. Right foot is the primordial syllable A, antidote, love. Loka seed syllable du, do, loka, or loka, hella realm, negative emotion, hatred. Element seed syllable, yam. Element air, colour green. So there's similarities and overlapping. And it's exactly the same for the left foot and the right foot. So your navel chakra is primordial syllable A, antidote wisdom, loca seed syllable tri or tree, T-R-I, loca animal realm. It's interesting we've gone for that then, because we've got all the animal cards. Little ones have laid out all the animal cards. We've got the dream deck, the dream decoder deck, the what's that one? Divine animal oracle, the spirit animal oracle, the medicine cards, and the world unknown animal. They wanted to read them all out. It's a lot. I don't think we'll be doing it, but we only till Monday. We'll do some, my lovelies, okay? Yeah, we've also got the little ones of sea melodies, moon magic, and chakra love. We've been in it today. So yeah. Oh no, hold on, we didn't read that all out, did we? The animals. We got distracted by the animals. Loka, animal realm, negative emotion, ignorance. Element seed syllable, mam. So that's not in the Hindu one. Element water, colour, medium blue. Medium blue rather than dark blue and light blue. I've not heard medium blue before. Okay, wonderful, thank you. I can't believe we've got through all that. I thought we were going to be doing this first. So the first thing to come out today was the Celestial Tarot, because we wanted to see, we were looking at, move these over here, shall we? We were looking at the patch tarot. You know how we do the patch, if you've watched this before, you'll know how we do the patch tarot wisdom wheel. So we're in the middle decan of Pisces, which is the last 10 days of 10 degrees, 10 days of the King of Cups energies, 9 of Cups energies, Jupiter, which we're in the energies of at the moment, Pisces, and it's in the Ace of Swords and the Princess of Swords, which is coming to the end of winter. And you see how we've done it on here that we've shown you before. So we wanted to see what the 9 of Cups was. And we love it when all this happens, because the alignment was fantastic as usual. We got the Celestial Tarot pack out after getting the Cosmic Tarot out first, but that didn't have it on it. And right on the top of the pack, the first card on the top of the pack, oh, there it is. It's on the top of the pack still now. It's the 9 of Cups, which is the number energies that we're in today. And lo and behold, Pisces and Pluto. And we've discussed those energies. And we got these out and we like them because each of them relate to the tarot. So you know which each card in tarot is, you know what the planetary energies are, but you've also got the name at the top. So you've got the myth. I think it's the Greek myth, but I don't know, it might be myths all over the place. We don't know because there's so many different myths and cultures, but you have the names at the top. It might be the star constellations or something. So the 9 of Cups is Andromeda. So we're not going to read these in the books or anything, but so today, like we just said, it's the kind of baby, it's the Ace of Swords and the Princess of Swords. The Ace of Swords is Libra and Venus. We were just talking about that to get as well early on. So these are the energies that we're actually in today with the planetary alignments. But these are the energies that we're in today that we've just showed you with that board and patch wisdom wheel. So the alignment's just insane. And none of this is consciously planned. And that's Crucis, C-R-U-C-I-S, for the Ace of Swords. Princess of Swords is related to winter. And you've got Pisces and Aquarius on that stone behind under the crow, but I'm not sure what the top one is. And it's in the moon, Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, and then there's a rune symbol on that card. That's the astrological sun sign we're in. And then the planetary day is Jupiter for Thursday. We're on Wednesday, which is actually the planet of the magician. But Jupiter is, and that's 10, the Wheel of Fortune. And that's got all 12 astrological signs in the circle in the middle. But then it's got Sagittarius and Jupiter. And we were just talking about Sagittarius and Jupiter are the rulers of Pisces. No, Sagittarius. Jupiter's the ruler of Sagittarius. But Jupiter's also the traditional ruler of Pisces. The King of Cups, we've got all the King of Cups energies, which is the water sign. We've watched a couple of tarot things today, and the King of Wands, because we're in all the kings, the King of Wands and the King of Swords come up, and it's the King of water, King of Cups today, which is a cardinal sign, water. Cardinal is the starting off. So you've got cardinal, fixed, mutable. Mutable is what we're in at the moment with Pisces, lots of mutable energies. It's water, it's adaptable, it's changeable. Cardinal is your Capricorn, your Aries, your Libra, your Cancer. It's the starting off energy, but it doesn't necessarily, not best at finishing it. And so everything that we're doing now is to bring all these energies down into the King of Pentacles, into that fixed energy, and the Nine of Cups. So we've got the other ones laid out here. So opposite, if we do the opposite one, the opposite of the King of Cups is the King of Discs. So if we go into the King of Disc Pentacles now, the King of Kings are all around the outside, the Kings and the Knights. But in the centre is the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is Cassiopeia. And you've got the Aries and the Mars symbols there, which again is what we were talking about, the energies again earlier on. And it's summer. Princess, the opposite of winter is summer. And it looks like you've got a Virgo. I don't know, maybe that's a Cancer. I don't know what the other two underneath that. Maybe they're Cancer and Leo. That makes sense, yeah. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra. So Cancer, yeah, Cancer, Leo and Virgo would be the signs for summer, wouldn't they? So that would make sense. Virgo, the Hermit. So that's got the Virgo card, and it's got Mercury, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Venus, the Empress. And so you've got Libra on here, Taurus on here, the Kabbalah tree, the air sign, the earth sign, a rune sign, and Venus. We've still got to learn the runes. And then the Nine of Pentacles. I'm not sure if that's the Virgo sign with Venus. I don't think it's Scorpio. These symbols are slightly different to what we're used to. I don't think it's Scorpio. It kind of looks like Venus, but different. Not Venus, Virgo. And that's Boots. The myth for that one is Boots. Boots, 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 Boots. And then King of Pentacles is your cardinal Earth. And it's got a picture of Saturn and Capricorn. I think that is up there at the top. So then if you were to go anti-clockwise, it would take you to the King of Swords. And the King of Swords starts with Sagitta, and it's got Saturn and Capricorn. It's the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacle energies. Oh, look at that. It's got the magic card in with Spring, Princess of Pentacles. So we couldn't find some of these because they're up on our big board. I can't remember which ones they are. So down the middle, we've got our magnets going across, and I think it's the Empress was our indigo magnets going across. So it's like a bridge, a magnet bridge. So it's the indigo, which is the pineal gland. We've just been talking about it, and that is going from Empress to. So we took the Empress card down. I know, Lovers to Strength. That's right, it's going from Lovers to Strength, because we've got this book, tarot book, that we've read, and there's the 10 signs, that was 10 tarot cards we've got up on the board, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different perspectives from different tarot packs. So the indigo bridge is going from Lovers to Strength, and then at the bottom it's still on the Lovers column, but it's the rainbow magnet bridge, and so that was the Earth Dreams of Gaia tarot, which we love. So when we get round to it, we've got the 2 readings that we did for this back in the energetics back then. So that's what guides us to the fact that and the Lovers is the marriage between the masculine and the feminine, the left and right vagus nerve, Mars and Venus. Gemini, the Lovers, your Gemini sign and the Mercury sign, because both Gemini, an air sign, and Virgo, an earth sign, is ruled by the Lovers, ruled by Mercury. Mars is the Tower, number 16, and that's the card of Tuesday. And then you've got the 9 of Swords, which is a lovely white dog, wolfy type dog, with your Uranus sign and Gemini, I think, and it's got Canis Minor. I think Canis is like the Latin for dog, isn't it? If we're talking about etymology. And then you've got the King of Swords, which is Libra and Venus, and your air sign, a cardinal air. And the last one, so these are the axes. This is the axes of what we're on today that are so correlating and connecting into the actual planetary elements. The Ace of Cups, Ursa Minor, which is your Cancer and the Moon. And it's got your bear on there. Autumn, the Princess of Cups. Sagittarius, 14, your Temperance card. You've got your horse on there. And then you've got your Moon, the High Priestess. 9 of Wands, which is your Draco. And then Cardinal Fire, the Kings of Wands, which has got a goat on there, even though it's got a Mars symbol and an Aries symbol. Oh no, it's a ram then, not a goat. A ram and a goat is different because the goat's Capricorn, isn't it? So those are the energies of the quadrants that we're working in. The seasons being the middle ones of the aces and the princes. Then the astrological sun signs going around the outside. So the 9 of Cups. Is that 9 of Cups? No. The 9 of Cups that we're in. Yeah, here is Pisces and Jupiter. This is Pisces. This is the Moon card. This is Jupiter. Your 9 of Cups. And then your last bit on the King of Cups. And it's the axes that's on. So we thought that was all really fascinating. So we also then, from the Spirit Science book, there's different sacred geometry meditations to do. So this is the meditation that we're on for this week of the visuals. We didn't draw it. I think it's a bit too complex for our younger ones to draw, but they did do that one last Sunday. And that's the next one. So that's really good. Just stare at just open-eyed meditation, staring at it and doing our breath work that we do. So we're not going to read these from the book. We may read one. How many packs have we got here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to do the divine one first, or do you want to do this one first? We're doing the divine one first. Yeah, because we're bringing the energies down. Okay. So the divine animal oracles, we're starting off with. So these are a lot of the sea creatures, but there's also the mallet word association game. So if you've got like sea horse, then horse comes into play as well. Sea otter, and you've got otter come into play, and that's especially important because otter is the Native American Indian astrological sign for Aquarius. So shark is purpose. I know we did a thing, we haven't actually done it on video yet, but we did it with a sister where we bring sound healing into this. And so your shh is the sound Chinese sound medicine, I think it is, for the liver. And then is your heart, and k. So you go shh, k, shh, k, and you connect your liver with your heart and the sound, the staccato. But there's also, we've got a yoga cards, and you can do like a bit of a floor back bend, kind of a bit like the cobra pose, but not. And then it tells you how to go through it. And so yeah, it's pretty amazing because we integrate the yoga with that. So hopefully this will be what's coming down the line. And then there's ones going, oh, we're not meant to share, don't share, people want to steal ideas. And it doesn't matter if people steal ideas. If people want to steal ideas, they can, because our thing is about humanity connecting to themselves, being unconditionally self-loving. So if that's what they need to do, that's what they need to do. But what they're doing at the end of the day is getting out information and knowledge to people that connects them to their body, to their heart, to their voice. And that's what matters, because we envision and foresee a world where people are so authentic and unique. You can't steal other people's ideas. You can be inspired by it and then do your own take on it, but everyone's so unique that it gets expressed in their own way. And then you won't need any copyright rules, and we create for creators and we don't create for consumerism. And then there's a sustainable symbiotic relationship going on between everyone, and we don't need to sue anyone. It'd be a beautiful heaven on earth state of awareness consciousness. And then we've got dolphin, which is all about soma, sonic sound. It's how a lot of us function. Mind you, today we've got the ones that function on sonic sound. We've got the ones that function on the numbers. But today, and the numbers ones start from the age of 7, because that's when we used to take extra maths homework home to soothe ourselves. But then today we made the connections of the weather ones and the land ones. And that started when we won our TV when we were 12. So the ones that speak in the language of the tectonic plate movements and the weather and stuff, and that air currents and the water currents, they're the it's just amazing. So happiness. Cats represent independence and play, but that's independence and play with the earth elemental consciousness. Land, if water represents the subconscious, land represents the conscious from our understanding so far. So independence and play in the conscious mind with cats. Maybe cats are very psychic, so maybe that's the super conscious, or who knows. It's anything and everything, isn't it? Because it's open to individual interpretation and expression. But yeah, dolphins are independence and play in the subconscious realms under the water. And then into stability, sea turtle. Slow and steady wins the race. The stability in you've got the stability of mountain on land and conscious mind. You've got the stability in the subconscious, so that we need that stability in the subconscious as we're bringing those subconscious patterns to the surface, not to get stuck in these younger wounded trauma states. Why Tom? That's a real weird deja vu thing, isn't it? That was such a fleeting glimpse of something. Into transformation, the Pluto, the Scorpio energies, and the card we had earlier of Sea Otter. So our younger ones used to love the card game memory when we were younger. So this is why all the cards speak, and having the different cards and the overlappingness used to really confuse us, because we were, very autistic and pedantic and literal. But this has really opened us up to be more understanding of different perspectives and how different people can say different things. It's not that one's lying, it's just there's no hard, fast set rules. We had to give up. We'd started A-level maths and AS math and further maths, but we had to give up further maths to an AS level because it started getting theoretical, and we liked our algebra and our a squared plus b squared equals c squared because it gave us an answer. But when it was theoretical, it didn't give us an answer, and it took us into those realms where we got lost in, because we weren't grounded, because we couldn't ground because of our EDS and our physical ailments, etc. And then into your seahorse of equality, equanimity, what we were just describing before, of that heaven on earth state of awareness, consciousness, a symbiotic relationship in our body with our bacteria and our cells, to then a symbiotic relationship between humans, and not needing to sue, not needing copyright, not needing any of that, because we're also authentic and individual, because difference is accepted and difference is seen for the beauty it is, rather than the conventional way that it is. And so with these ones, the wild spirit animal oracle, we have the macro and the micro, the little ones and the older ones, and how they connect. So, the patterns get reversed. So I know we made connections the other day for when it goes to the head energies and the pelvis energies, and how the outer feet, how it would go from the inner feet up to the pelvis, to the outer body, to the head, to the inner body, back down, out and down. I don't know. I think that's completely not what we were saying the other day at all. But we can never really remember like that. We remember through energetics and frequencies, not words and narratives. So it gets quite confusing. So many audio messages and audio visuals. So we'll go through this. 659, starfish, open to infinite possibilities. Because when we're open to infinite possibilities, bringing us into 62, turtle spirit, the slow and steady wins the race, because we have that turtle energies of before, of stability in the subconscious realms and dimensions, bringing us to 28, equaling 10, karmic completion into the frog spirit. And then we're able to navigate, clearing out the clutter in our bodies, clearing out the clutter in our house, but clearing out the clutter in the house house doesn't necessarily mean clearing out the clutter. It could just mean organizing and rethinking how we place things, where we put things, bringing us into the dolphin energies of number 20. The two vibration of this and that are true, not that's lying and this is true. It's all true. We all have a different individual perspective of truth, hence why the importance and understanding and getting to know, why do you do this? How did you get from A to B? Are you aware of how you got to A to B? Because that's what we're doing. We learned by asking other people their processes, but not many people knew. There was this one person who used to do this too, but he'd go away and then come back and let us know, and it's fab, but most people couldn't answer it. So we're witnessing our process, to know our process, to then have this constructive feedback loop of information out and in and out of the senses, etc., or in and out and in, depending which way the patterns start. And we're allowing you to witness our process, because that's the best way to self-understanding, self-enlightenment, self-awareness, self-mastery, because then we can have the compassion, we can be forgiving, and then that's what we radiate out and can give others, and then the systems will start changing. We can't change others, but we can change the energetics that they are reacting to. And how do we change the energetics we are reacting to? That's the collective unconscious Jung talks about, and the gateway, the portal, is the central nervous system. And then we start healing the central nervous system disorders, and then the systems start changing, because the systems at the moment are outdated and they're hurting people. Into 36, koi fish spirit, the 3 and the 6 and the 9, the test the code, because then there's always enough, because we're not in that drama gameplay or in society of fighting for energies of each other. We're understanding and realizing the infinite supply of energy from the space of nothingness around us, which is actually everything of the electromagnetic fields and energy. And because then we go into trusting the great mystery, into the whale spirit energies of 56, which equals 11 of individuality, the first master number of the master number of service, the master number of service to self, because then we've put on their oxygen mask to us first, and we can help others without depleting, facilitate others on their journey, letting them have their own experiences, because there's many different paths to 4, whether that's 8 minus 4, whether it's 2 times 2, whether it's 3 plus 1, whether it's the square root of 16. Everyone has their own individual journey. The destination, the start point and the end point might be the same, but there's multitude, infinite pathways of fate and destiny to get there, because at the end of the day, the destination is the journey. And then, but that brings us into the ability to bring our ideas into life, because we're understanding the energetics and the atoms and the different perspectives and the language of energy, and we're able to then bring the energies down through the body, so that we can have in-body experiences, kinesthetic learning, embodying the knowledge through first-hand experience, to then manifest our dreams into form and reality, because we've faced our fears and our nightmares. And number 24, bringing us into watching and waiting, into patience, into number 53, the seahorse spirit, because once we've done all that, it takes time. These are the faster energies. It's slower down here in physical form. And once we've manifested and put those energies out there, and then we focus our energies on integrating spirituality into practicality, meditating and focusing our energy on one thing, unless we're multi-talented, and there's lots of us focusing our energy on one thing, and we can meditate in the moment by focusing our energy and our breath in the moment into our body with whatever we are doing. And then it will flow in, because it's magnetic energy. What one reaps, one sows. What one sows, one reaps. And then we go into the horse spirit, from the seahorse of the ocean of consciousness, of the oceans of the water realms of the subconscious, onto the land realms of the conscious, into freedom is yours, because we've learned to understand 33, communication, body language, the language of energy, that we are free will spirits, and we don't have to continue these being domesticated and conforming to our subconscious programming, because we can reprogram ourselves through our words, through our actions, of these most amazing bioorganic quantum computers, these spiral rainbow electromagnetic beings, the soul, because that brings us into 42, tiny momo. You didn't know it's that number, because we're 42, even though there's many ages in here. And we're talking about that story. which was 24 years, which is the inverse of 42, and it's the otter, the Aquarius, the Native American Indian animal for Aquarius, because we're never alone. We're never alone. We think aloneness is like loneliness and we get lonely, but we're never alone. There's so much love out there from nature and the plants and the animals and ourselves. Our bodies love us completely unconditionally and do so much for us. And we're giving back to our body now because we didn't know better before, but we know better now. And then you have the macro again, trusting the great mystery of the whale spirit. In the macro, because you've got the inside reflecting outside and the outside reflecting in, as above, so below. The frog spirit of clearing out the clutter, the starfish spirit of open to infinite possibilities, to this and that are true. To the otter spirit of never being alone, it's just the constant spiral and labyrinth of patterns into the freedom is ours with the power realm of the horse energies and 33 communication, the number double mirror of number of master number, into bringing ideas to life, the electric eel, watching and waiting again, breathing, being patient, just being, witnessing the patterns in the world, how everything unfolds, how there's always enough with the koi spirit, because slow and steady wins the race. A true lifestyle change is a slow process. And then we were going to read these ones, but we're not. The salmon talks about going up against the flow of the river. That brings you into Tom Brown, into you've got the tracker. What have you, how can we forget this again? You've got the two people, you've got the trackers, the scout. So the scout are the ones that no one in the Native American Indian tribe knows, and they can move against the water and flow just as smoothly like they're flowing with the water, but against the water, because there's that connection with the earth and with the land. And that's like the salmon spirit, and like the otter, number 8 in this card. 8's our birth given name, and it's the otter again. And you've got the dolphin and the frog, and we were gonna, the alligator, the turtle, the horse, the blue heron. You've got a lot of blank ones in this, whale, black panther, and beaver, because the beaver builds in the water. It's number 22, which is the master builder number. We were going to like look up in these because I think the names say them different, but we're going to have to go into the book for that, and we're not doing it because we're pretty tired. It's coming up to 3 hours. So then the camel is like on land, but the camel has to store water because of the desert conditions, and it's fire. And then you've got the otter again in the wild unknown, and the dolphin, water. So you've got all different signs: whale, octopus, turtle, frog, oyster, crocodile, starfish. So it's a crocodile rather than the alligator, the shark, the fish, and then we've got the cosmic egg, the unicorn, the black egg, into the golden egg of the heart. I think that's the right way around. Into the solar plexus of the dragon's eye, the root, the sea serpent, the Ouroboros, snake eating its tail, and the phoenix rising from the ashes. So we're just going to do a little card. We'll do one of these, the sea melodies with the mermaids on the front. I was going to say we're not going to pull one, but that's just flipped. The card that was given was dance. Take inspiration from the moonlight dancing on the surface of the sea. That's beautiful because we're dancing with moon energies, aren't we? And we always do the top of the pack because everything's a spectrum. So the top of this pack, aware, conscious, seen spectrum of energies we're dancing within, is meditate, which is what we read earlier for the Pisces energies. Make some quiet time in the still air. And the bottom is flow, let your worries drift away. So yeah, the mutable sign, those are just beautiful. Thank you, sea melody cards. Because then we're just going to quickly go into the dream deck and see what the dream deck has to say to us for these energies. Do you top on one more? Are we doing the tuning forks? No. Okay. That's too many. Put them back. 12 and 13's on the top of that, and the world within. We've got a pile there which is ships, and then death. The ship's coming in. As the death, the transformation happens. So what's the cards gone down here? So we're going to read the top and bottom, pursuit and limbs. We've been talking about the body parts, and we're going to pull the middle one out of that, shadow and pursuer, which is personalities. The shadow is that part of ourselves which we choose to ignore and which reacts by haunting our dreams. For example, an introvert will often dream of acting in an outrageous fashion, while an extrovert may compensate for time spent impressing others by taking time for himself or herself. If we are able to recognize the shadow when it appears and gradually integrate rather than deny its existence, it will cease to haunt our dreams. Any character who threatens us in a dream is likely to symbolize our shadow. Although the appearance of the pursuer or intruder may be disturbing, it is important to realize that it symbolizes an aspect of the personality which has been denied and is literally haunting the dreamer in the hope of being recognized and integrated into the personality, which with the DID and what goes on with us is exactly what we're doing. It's called shadow work, the poetry videos we have done them on these channels, but it's on the other one now. And it's psychotherapy, creative psychotherapy, healing. The best way to achieve this is to program the mind each night before going to sleep by repeating to ourselves that when the pursuer appears, we will stop, face it, and ask it what it wants of us. The move almost always guarantees a revealing answer and puts a stop to the nightmares. We don't get nightmares or anything, but everything kind of transpires a bit differently for us, and a lot of it's kind of mostly physical. But everything is a reflection of our internal world. You can look at everything in your external world and it will be saying something to you of your internal world. It's just whether your mental belief systems or your mind and you're ready to listen to it or not. And if you're not, that's absolutely okay. You don't need to push it. Denial is our friend. And if you push it, you could push yourself too much into a psychotic episode or into some kind of physical thing. So it is about just being gentle and patient, not ignoring. Or if you are being aware, okay, this is going on. I know this is going on, but we're not ready for this yet. Or it's like, I know I'm in denial about something. I know there's stuff going on down the surface, but I'm not sure what it is. But we do what we can when we can. That's the card that we've chosen. I know myself deeply and find myself worthy. Eclipse. We know ourselves deeply and find ourselves worthy. It's taken us a long time, but I feel we do. It's where we've gone on our whole life not knowing what the hell's been going on and just losing stuff and forgetting stuff. And then everything made sense, like we said, with the seizures. But then it was quite an interesting journey to get to know ourselves, but we are now. Still a long way to go, but we've come much further than we've got to go, I feel. This is the bottom, the unseen, unaware. I accept renewal and delight in fresh starts, the new moon for today. Thank you so much, energies. I love you. We accept renewal and delight in fresh starts, the new moon of all these Pisces energies, fresh starts in the way we understand and see the world, because we're not stuck in these trauma states anymore. We're coming to the end of closing them off. Look at the top. It's some kind of clock and cog time in the thingy. I have a balanced relationship with time. I use time well. Moon god Mani. We have a balanced relationship with time. We use time well. It's amazing because that's what we've been doing. We've been setting our alarms and doing all kinds of things like this to focus us and keep us grounded in the tangible left brain society so we can integrate with people. Oh, the healing's deep. The awareness is deep. The gratitude is deep. Happiness tears this time. We were crying the other day, but it was true. I think it was Monday, wasn't it, with Aquarius? But that was from some physical and emotional pain. Whereas this is just relief and gratitude and happiness. We require. We have to get the scientific test or something because and measure the chemical in our tears, because we do quiet anything and everything. And we can feel the congestion happening, so all this like clearing up in the sinuses that we were talking about before with the teeth. Everything that some of us have known, it's amazing, it's incredible, it really is. So these are the chakra love cards we're on now. Made us jump. Zendaya wants in. We're looking forward to resting. Hi, beautiful. Hey. You haven't been out there for ages, have you? Hey? You got your food? We just got to do the last card. Oh, you haven't got any biscuits. Hold on. Let's do this for you. Here we go. There you go, all right? Yeah, you enjoyed that, you little wet boy. Oh, soaking, aren't you? We love our Zendaya. Cats have always been our Malkins and Pussycat mischief. We got mischief when we were 12, actually. MISJIF. And then Dakota. We missed him dearly. Animals have always understood us and seen us. And our nephew, the 4-month-old, the baby, he really did, because we're so connected to source energy and stuck in the present. Oh, the yellow. Solar plexus chakra, topaz. I think topaz like a greeny blue. Manifestation. Manifestation is the fruition of confidence and belief. Just what we've been talking about. And we're wearing the yellow. And what have we got? Bottom. Solar plexus chakra again, citrine. Abundance. The world is abundant when you choose to see it clearly, see it that way. The world is abundant when we choose to see it that way. Well, that's just what we were talking about before as well, wasn't it? Yay. Hi. Do you want to go sit on the couch and then we'll come and give you a cuddle in the middle? Hey? We'll give you a cuddle. Do you want to jump up here? Want to jump up there? Not much room around here for you, is there? You're glistening, all that wetness. And the next one underneath is heart chakra. And then there's another heart chakra reversed of compassion. Father Divine and Mother Earth make love in your heart. Green ocean jasper. Want to go up there? Go on then. Go on. Oh, darling boy. And on top, pink and green together, which are the colours of the heart chakra. Trust, third eye chakra, tourmaline. Trust your intuition. It is in contact with a higher source of knowledge. Hello. As soon as we did 2 on the bottom. Oneness, crown chakra. Tourmulated quartz or something. We are part of the universe and always will be. Couldn't ask for anything better to finish that on, could we? Which is quite an interesting, it's like the fascia and the connective tissue. Could be seen as a bit of a chaotic and a dark thing, but we see connective tissue and fascia when we see that. So thank you so much. Energies, planetary systems, Mother Gaia, Zendaya, all our beautiful bacteria and all our beautiful cellular body. Thank you so much. We are actually the earth tuning fork. Just the ground in these energies, earth, fire and water. Water my blood, We don't know that song. This is that Mother Earth song. Fire my breath, ground my spirit, air my breath, water my blood. Fire my body, ground my spirit. Not quite sure.